because I don't know too much about old school Star Wars either.
Yeah.
I haven't played Knights of the Old Republic because I've never been able to get it work on a computer. And now that I have this Origin Premiere thing, I'm going to install it with that and hope that that version fucking works. I don't know why that would be different to the Steam version, but...
Steam has shit versions. GOG, they always have patches that makes it run on modern hardware.
Although they've never put...
Oh, really? Because I have that too, but do I have to pay for it again? Because I get it for free on this Premiere thing.
Oh, yeah, you might...
I bought that Origin Premiere so that I could get Fallen Order for like £20 less. Pay $15 for Origin Premiere for a month, and then you pay $10 for Fallen Order instead of the full 50 something Fallen Order.
Well, I went live, by the way, so...
What, we're live right now?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You said let's go live. I was like, okay, I'll go live.
Tell us when we're fucking live, dude.
Do you not have like intros? Intro music or anything?
No.
Oh
Dude,
my
this
God,
is Sheepdog. We were literally
Dude,
just talking about this.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's so confusing. I was saying today, I was like taking the piss on my stream about people that come in and they like, you know when you do like an intro and it can be 10 minutes or it can be an hour of chatting shit, right? You just kind of talk and then you maybe play the game. And people are always like, haha, it took you an hour to play the game. And I'm like, no, dude, the stream has been live for an hour. There's no set time before the game begins. I'm like, who the hell just clicks start streaming and they're just in the game, like they're already walking forward as their character in the game, right?
Me.
I realize now it's Sheepdog.
Yeah, I do that. I do.
Sheepdog is that guy.
Like, I will just be like writing up a script or doing some editing or something. I'm like, I'm gonna take a break and stream and just start the stream and just play. And if people turn up, great. If not, I don't care.
You are confusing.
Let me fucking host you.
Yeah, I need to do all this.
No, you don't. No, who cares?
No, let me fucking host you.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
like,
doing this exclusively for exposure.
I'm literally going to try and blow your channel up right now. I'm going to tweet it and everything. I would never know. I don't even tweet tables.
He doesn't tweet his own stream.
Dude, I don't want your viewers. My viewers are bad enough.
Just to wind you up.
I have also tweeted with a GIF and everything.
I was looking for a GIF and then I was like, I can't find one.
I did a GIF. I did a full tweet. That's the best tweet I can do.
I was looking for a GIF and I couldn't find one, so I was like, I'll just put my link in. I don't give whatever.
Does it show your weird face thing you've got?
Yeah, what the screamy face?
You've had that for years since you played that VN thing.
I did a raid so I could feel better about myself. So I can see it come up in chat.
You know what's
an offline raid.
You know what's sad is most people, if they raid you, and they're offline and they've been offline for a while, it would be a raid of 1. You still managed to get a raid of 5, you fucking cunt.
Yeah, it's weird, right? They're bots. They're all porn bots.
Yeah.
At least 100 people that watch me are porn bots every day. The amount of viewers that is on the view thing is porn bots. That's how many, whatever it is.
Yeah, and there's a whole load of like information gathering so that these people can be like, we have metrics and analytics and we can tell you how to be successful. We can't give you a fucking personality, but we can make you successful.
Send us your demographics.
Oh God, they're already turning up.
There they are.
Yeah.
There they are.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's them.
The Purge. The Jedi Purge has begun.
Incidentally, Peachy, I have a suggestion for you for your mixer thing. I can't remember what it's called.
My Go XLR.
Yeah. Get the soundbite from the Pornhub intro and play it randomly and watch people in your chat go, I recognize this, but from where?
I kept doing it with Netflix because I thought, oh, if I just like every now and again just sneakily put the Netflix in. The first time I did it, that's Netflix.
I wanted to have my sub sound be the chatterbait ping coin drop noise or whatever, so that when people are walking
that
at work,
fucking loud ass, it has to be distorted to fuck as well.
And everyone at their work is like, "Oh fuck," like the first time it happens when you turn it on at work. For like a day, just to really fuck people up.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it because I didn't want my girlfriend to know that I watch porn. Can't let them know, dude. Can't let them know.
Do you want me to cut this out of the stream and also the... Actually, no one's gonna watch it. It's fine.
She's currently not home right now. I'm actually home alone this evening, which is great. So.
Oh, is she getting her legs removed from that bagel?
Yeah, that's what she's doing.
Sorry, until you said that bagel.
I didn't know about bagels. It was a bagel tweet day today, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I tweeted about bagels today as well.
That was the first thing I did when I woke up was send that tweet.
Weren't those donuts, though?
You know the difference between a bagel and a donut?
Yeah, donuts are just gay bagels. Bagels, if you will.
That's a good one.
Hello, welcome to DropPod.
What is this? Why am I here?
We are here to expose Brad Woto and get him finally cancelled. Surprise! It's a ambush.
If anyone's gonna get me cancelled, it would be myself. You just leave it a week.
We're all here because we are all utterly surprised how good the Mandalorian is.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy how good it is.
Like straight, I am shook. Like
I mean, it isn't like from a technical standpoint. It is not a technical standpoint, but from a it's pretty there's a pretty decent amount of like standard shit.
Yeah,
like I think we're gonna touch on some episode 3 spoilers here, but there's like I'm gonna try and just like not say specifics about what it is, but there's like one of the most tropey cliche things today when he pulls the thing out of his jacket.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff happens a lot in it, and I can't tell whether it's owed or if it's just lame.
Well, the fight scene, like I loved. We'll get into it, but I loved it. At the same time, I was like, wow, that's really tropey, and very kind of.
There isn't any like I haven't seen anything in it that from just a just standard set.
You know what's new? It's the amalgamation of all the things, rather than just being the one thing.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of the man with no name feel to it.
Mm.
Also, he's also kind of
Western.
He's a bit like the man with no name. That's Clint Eastwood's character in those old classic spaghetti westerns. It's like him and Batman. He reminds me of.
Yeah.
He's kind of got that kind of element to him. I feel he kind of reminds me of those two combined.
Well, the feeling I get is from like Kurosawa films, stuff like Hidden Fortress and Seven Samurai, and like he's got that feeling of like the mercenary.
It's the loner trope, right?
Yeah.
It all comes from those.
Yeah,
because he's a Ronin, isn't he? That's what he is.
Yeah.
Although he
an orphan, like
his guild.
Well,
he's got his guild, and there are the other Mandalorian underground.
Not quite a loner, but enough of the loner trope to be a loner. Like it's not like he's sitting down and having tea with people all the time, and
it's like there's no like I just feel like from like the set pieces and stuff are all standard issue set pieces. There isn't anything in it that's like groundbreaking cinematography and cinema stuff.
No.
Actually,
somehow it's like the best thing. I'm like watching it going, this is
what it is? You know how like all the new like TV shows are like just going super edgy and like camera angles and look how cinematography we are. This is cinematography, but it's like old school movie cinematography.
Yeah.
It looks like it was shot on film. There is no way it's shot on film, but it looks like it's shot on film.
Could I just bring attention to the... Don't use my quotes, dickheads.
Pretty well polished.
It like the intro with just the very simple text and like the kind of Western feel music as the name of the episode comes up feels very, very like old Western. Little bit of Tarantino, maybe.
What it's supposed to be.
As if Disney are not making a Star Wars show.
I'm pretty sure Disney's not making this. Just even though they are,
they
and
they
they're
own
not.
I think that
you know, but you know what I mean. It's nothing. It when somebody says to you, Disney Plus, they're making the Mandalorian. This is not.
This is not what I was
imagine.
expecting.
Here's what I feel like it might be, and I honestly haven't looked into it, and I don't know, and I'm just fucking throwing shit at the wall. But I feel like the people who are involved in the movies are just so fucking far removed from the stuff that's going on with Disney Plus and the TV shows at the moment.
They have to be,
because and the game that just come out is just from
it feels like EA went, just make it. We got to stay away because we're gonna lose the license.
Yeah. Or even like all of the source material and stuff is right. It's fucking nice. You're just looking at it going, yeah, that's exactly what should happen here, and that feels correct. And the music is right, the sounds and the story and setup stuff. It just feels like the people that have been like destroying Star Wars for the last few years are just not near this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Disney as an overarching thing. Like the dude who has the wallet just doesn't seem to be the thing that matters here. I think it might just be like whoever the fuck is in. I know that like what's her name? Kathleen Kennedy is in charge of Star Wars at Disney at the moment, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And she's out soon, I think. But maybe whoever is coming in has been in charge of these shows. Because they do that a lot, right? They're like, oh, you work on this project, and in 2 years you're in charge of the whole thing.
Yeah, it's and Peachy can tell you this because we were doing this on the first DropPod, which I didn't record or anything.
So it was a phone call.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
We watched the trailer, didn't we?
We watched the trailer, and Peachy can tell you, I was ready to hate it. Like, I was very, very iffy about it, and I was like, I don't know. Like, there's bits in this that I worry about, you know. I was very critical of the trailer, and then I watched the show, and I'm like, okay, well, I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the trailer.
Episode was the weakest one as well.
Yeah.
The trailer is basically where I expected the show to be. I'm like, oh, okay, it looks good. I'll watch it, and I'll probably enjoy it. But the trailer is what I was expecting. The show is nothing like what I was expecting.
I messaged Peachy and was like, drop whatever the fuck you're doing and go and watch the Mandalorian quick.
Because I was gonna wait until.
He's like, I'm gonna wait for it all to come out, and I'm like, I'm sitting there in the back of my head. I'm like, Baby Yoda, he has to experience it.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow he's gonna wake up and the internet is gonna be blowing this shit up. I was like, you have to just go and watch it. He's like, and I'm like, Peachy, trust me.
You have
for the love of God.
When Brad recommends me to watch something, he said, trust me, I have to watch it because he's always right.
I was like, it was just because I know that you're a Star Wars fan as well, and just the Baby Yoda reveal thing is so huge and so just cool and interesting, and if you're a Star Wars fan, it's like, dude, fuck yeah, this is a really cool thing that you don't expect to come out of this fucking the last thing I expected to come out of this show is this fucking giant lore dump potentially.
Yeah.
Well, do you know the moment when I realized A, that Peachy definitely needed to watch it, and B, that this was going to be a decent show? It was fairly early on when he's walking and you see the little creature in the cage about to be eaten. You know, like it's about to be cooked.
Oh, Salacious Crumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
that was what did it for you?
Well, this is the thing is.
Fuck yeah, I love seeing these little animals get.
Well, no, because you know.
He saw Baby Yoda and he's like, oh, kill him.
Well, you know what would have happened in the film is another character would have wandered up and gone, that thing right there, that's Jabba the Hutt's. It's Jabba the Hutt's pet thing. You can't eat that. It's Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt. Do you remember Jabba the Hutt? Star Wars Jabba the Hutt. And it's just like
Star Wars.
ATST.
Do you know ATST? Do you know what it was for me?
Yeah.
Was like we see the intro and like he has a bar fight and he grabs a bounty and all that.
Yeah.
And he's being pretty badass. Do you know what really grabbed me was when he got fucked up by those stupid two-legged like potato monster things. Like he actually got fucked up.
Yeah.
He isn't like fucking Superman.
He's
fucked up.
He
couldn't ride this thing, and he had to be taught how to ride this thing.
Yeah, it's like I think that's good because I think we're gonna get this like journey with him. Like instead of him just showing up and he's like, "I'm the very fucking best," and then that's it throughout the entire thing, almost the Jack Bauer style. Even though I love 24.
Yeah.
We we'll see him grow because I mean he's already kind of growing, isn't he? When with the Baby Yoda thing, he's already transforming and maturing almost as a character. So that's good. Like I like that because it gives him so much room to maneuver in. Because it's got to be fucking hard to make a show where you're like, well, we'll never see his face, and I swear to God, we better not ever see his face.
I think we do.
Better not ever take that.
No, I don't think we do.
The only time I will almost accept it is if it's the last frame, or something like that. I don't know, but even then, I think I'll be quite disappointed. I hope we never see it. And they've mentioned it a couple of times in the show where they're like, "You've never taken it off, whatever." And he's like, "No, whatever." So,
see, I think there's gonna be a little bit of anti authority thing for him, where he's going to like. Well, that's what I thought. I will talk about episode 3, but chapter 3. Sorry, but like I was expecting it to go differently.
Oh yeah, very. I
wasn't expecting him.
And because of that, that's another thing where it's like, he's not perfect Superman. But maybe we should leave chapter 3 until
it's cool.
further in.
Yeah, we'll call out spoilers.
Also, like as well, I see everyone freaking out about the "it's not Yoda" thing. I like there's 2 memes I've seen come out that are just so great, and one of them is the you know that meme where it has like the brain and then the higher brain and then the even more awakened state brain. The first one is like, "It's Yoda," and it's like casuals. The second one is like, "We don't know that it's a Yoda. He died in Return of the Jedi." And then the third one that's even more awakened is like, "We know that, but what are we going to call it? Baby of whatever species Yoda is." Like I love it, dude. Like
it's called it's called Yoda's species.
Yeah, what are you going to call it? You have to call it baby. Everyone knows it's not Yoda, but what are you going to call it? I mean, yeah. It's crazy. Like I love that shit. By the way, the fact that there's just because it seems like one of those things. I feel like if someone had told me this beforehand, I'd have been like, "Nah, they've ruined it." If you said to me, "Oh, in the new Mandalorian show that's coming out that you sort of don't care about too much, but you're gonna watch," I'll be like, "Yeah." They'd be like, "There's a Baby Yoda thing in it." I'll be like, "Fuck that! They're destroying this IP into the ground." You know what I mean?
Oh, they just I'll watch it, but it's just The Last Jedi.
Oh no, don't even mention it. I do think they've done, like we said earlier on, they've done so much just purely with the Mandalorian and the game these last 2-3 weeks.
From two sources you're not expecting.
No.
To like reinvigorate your faith in the Star Wars franchise.
Here's a question.
Did we talk about this live? I don't know, because we were talking about it in the call.
No, I don't think we did. But
man, he's probably got our address on the screen.
Oh yeah,
I don't even know it.
But here's a question: do you think the reason that the films, and I'm sure I'll try and be as kind as possible. The reason the films aren't great is because of the way the films and Hollywood films nowadays make money compared to like TV shows.
No, I think it's shit because mainline Star Wars, just mainline, the themes of the mainline Star Wars have not got 9 movies worth of information and lore. They don't.
Yeah.
I think here's the thing though. I want you to imagine this. Let them release this next one, yeah? Now imagine if in a non-shitty way they remade them all. Now imagine them remaking them with all of the context that we now have in the Star Wars universe. These have all been kind of like built with, like, they keep retroactively almost adding lore because they have to, right? In the beginning, the first movie,
there's not much going on. Yeah.
Anything. And when they did the prequels, they think about how much the Clone Wars series adds to the prequel.
I haven't seen the Clone Wars, but I know.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I know a lot about the Clone Wars. I've just never actually watched it.
Oh damn, it is so good. Um, it is probably one of the maybe even the best thing that they've put out ever. I think you can avoid a bunch of it. There's like a filler list that you can avoid, but just for complementing the prequel movie, because prequels you can literally watch them as a comedy.
Yeah.
And rip the piss out of them, or you can watch them and just kind of be like, well, I'm gonna watch this seriously and watch Anakin's fucking turn to the dark side and shit.
Yeah.
But when you watch if you watch Phantom Menace, then whatever the second one's called, the fucking Clone Wars one, and then watch the whole Clone Wars series, and then come back and watch the final movie, it's so much better. Because when you watch just those 3 movies, Anakin's like, yeah, I'm a good guy, kind of moody, evil for no reason. You're like, what the fuck?
Edge, evil.
Yeah, you're like, he just fucking goes
I kind of took
crazy.
I kind of took that as the Emperor's influence on his mind, though.
I mean, yeah, there's
but
also
you have to fill in the blanks because there is not much going on.
However, when you watch the
Star Wars
Clone Wars, you go, everything makes sense now. It literally, and not in a like shitty like we have to quickly fill this blank. I'm gonna Metal Gear Solid 5 this and tie up this loophole. In a way that you're like, okay, yeah, that completely makes sense. When you watch his journey, the struggles that he goes through in the Clone Wars really back up all the shit that sends him over the edge. Anyway, right. So imagine now that they remade all these movies. They remake all of them, but with the context. So there's even elements of Clone Wars, and like Ahsoka is a character that is so goddamn important to Anakin Skywalker's story, and fucking no one knows who the fuck he is. Put her in those movies, it changes everything. They become good movies, I think. I think the actual story becomes good. Take the fucking Trade Federation out of Phantom Menace. Take that whole fucking bit out. And then take that whole bit out and then bring, slam a time jump in the middle of that movie and then put some of the second movie in the first movie, and then put the Clone Wars in the second movie, and the third movie can pretty much stay the same because I actually think Revenge of the Sith is pretty good.
They could remove the first third of that movie and nothing would be lost.
I was about to say, if you were gonna remake Star Wars, right? You start at the beginning of the timeline instead of where Luke turns up. Cut out all of the start of the first film, most of the first film, have Anakin turn up wanting to be a Jedi type thing with his, master thing, and then have it run all the way through to when he becomes Darth Vader, leave out most of the romance and the kid stuff to a certain extent. I think they could you could get like a really interesting reveal where it's like Anakin Skywalker's Darth Vader, and
that's what that machete order is.
Yeah.
There's like a weird way that you can watch them where that is the outcome. I think that's the machete order. I can see someone in chat saying it, but there's like 3 or 4 different ways that you can watch them, right? And there's one where it's a reveal.
Yeah.
Right? It like reveals to you that he's the bad guy and you're like, what? I can imagine a version of these movies if you could just like click your fingers, genie magic, recreate them with context within the existing shit that's all out there.
With the expanded use that they just got rid of.
No, I don't know. I don't fully understand why they wiped so much of the expanded universe out, but I also get why they wanted to simplify it.
Yeah, they had to get rid of that and just say that's not canon, so they can use what they want for just the movies, and then because they're bringing in loads of EU stuff.
Yeah, there was that thing because she said this week, didn't she? Did you see that? Kathleen Kennedy was like, so she said something about she was like, we don't know what we're gonna do after this next movie comes out for the next trilogy of Star Wars because there's no source material to work from anymore. And everyone's like, are you fucking kidding me? You deleted it all.
I mean, did you know?
But they keep grabbing from stuff from.
Yeah, I think she means that there's no source material for anything post this era.
There wasn't really.
Right, yeah.
There wasn't
but
really.
Up, but still.
There wasn't really much post Return of the Jedi. Like there was, but it kept being like, oh, it's canon. Oh, it's not canon. Oh, it's just like.
Well, let's be fair. The way they made Jedi, even though it's ridiculous to say, but it was the end.
Yeah.
Somehow the Ewoks defeated the entire Empire on that one little moon.
They should have kept going back instead. I think they should have done a prequel instead of this new.
And done some like crazy Sith tribe shit and all that.
Like, yeah, the Sith stuff's really interesting. That's when I played the Old Republic, the MMO. That was the stuff that was really interesting. Is all the like backstory about the Sith and the the kind of the Jedi versus the Sith, and it was all interesting.
I mean, they keep mentioning that they want to work on, there was talk for a long time, wasn't there, before Disney Plus blew up about a Netflix Knights of the Old Republic thing. But either way, I think from an integrity, like just good movie making standpoint, they shouldn't have made anything past Jedi, but they needed to cash in on nostalgia, which is probably what actually was what you were touching on earlier on, Cheapy. That's what they bought this thing from George Lucas and went, well, how do we cash in on nostalgia?
Yeah.
And I think they leaned a little too heavily into that and just kind of fucked with it too much. And you're like, oh, all you did was you fucked my nostalgia. That's what you did.
Well, what they did was they literally took the beats from the first film and made it their reboot, so their sequel continuation of the story is like they wrapped you up in everything that happened. There's nothing new in there, man. Like
I'm gonna put it down. I really like The Force Awakens because of that.
I
don't need the first original movie after seeing The Force Awakens, because The Force Awakens looked better and had pretty much the same story beats, like probably to the cut. Do you know what I
mean? My least favorite movie, obviously The Last Jedi doesn't count because that's just my least favorite movie all time. But I mean, within Star Wars, is A New Hope. I barely even like that movie anymore. Yeah. It's just so boring to me.
It's definitely my least favorite one.
Not including the I think
exists, Brad.
I would
at least in the Phantom Menace there's the fucking fight.
The Darth Maul fight.
And there's one great fight and it's really good, but it's not how Jedi fight.
Right, there's one great fight. There's one slightly lesser, just tiny little fight between Qui-Gon and Darth Maul in the desert, which is called shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And
like half a second.
Do you know what those two things have over the A New Hope? Those two things. Nothing like that happens in A New Hope. It's just like X-wings and stuff, which is.
Yeah, but I like space.
It would have been so cool if I was a little kid in 1977 watching it in a fucking cinema, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because of that, I've never really been that bothered. Like, there's no Jedi lightsaber force shit, really.
Yeah. So to give you my perspective on it, and I actually kind of agree with you, Brad. Aside from obviously, as you said, like the Last Jedi is.
They remade A New Hope for The Force Awakens. I just watched that one.
The problem in the original 3, I don't particularly care about A New Hope. Luke's not interesting. The other characters, the acting is terrible. There's not much action. There's not much to engage me.
He doesn't even know the story.
He
just was like, I'm gonna make half this.
Yeah.
Stuff up on the go.
My favorite film out of all of them is The Empire Strikes Back.
I agree with that.
And I love that as an adult still. I love the Last Jedi. I love the Return of the Jedi because as a kid it was really cool and epic, and like even taking out like the Ewoks and everything, it was like big battles and like Han Solo leading an army and like as an adult, Return of the Jedi is pretty shit, but
you got to cash in on some nostalgia. Like
yeah.
Why a lot of the reason I like the Phantom Menace is because I watched it when I was a fucking child.
Yeah.
And if I try and watch it now, I like my most recent watch through I did of Star Wars, I skipped Phantom Menace and A New Hope. I just watched all the others, and I was like, well, that when you get down to it, and you're like, okay, now the true me comes out because I've got a set amount of time in my life. Am I going to watch these 2 movies again? And the decision I made was no. I just I was like, no. What if I die tomorrow and I could have been watching either of the other?
The thing is about Empire and Jedi is the main character is Luke, right? In those 3 movies, he's the main character.
Yeah.
In Empire and Jedi, he's actually a real character. In A New Hope, he's just some Mary Sue that you're supposed to follow his journey.
I mean, but if you watch, the good thing about A New Hope is that when you actually watch, it's just a fantasy.
Yeah.
It's just a knight and an old aging fucking knight, samurai, fucking
a wizard.
He's sort of a wizard, yeah. And then a new little kid coming up training, paladin kid, and evil fucking dude, princess. You're like, okay.
Evil. It's not subtle. He's dressed all in black. He's got a fucking cape.
Yeah. It's George Lucas played a fucking round of D&D and then made.
Yeah.
He's like, I tell you what, no one will guess. I'll just put it in space.
Why do you think Rey's a Mary Sue? It's because she was copy pasted from Luke from the first film.
I think she's an even more powerful Mary Sue.
Yeah.
They're both Mary Sues for sure.
I mean, Luke wasn't all powerful in the first one.
He's just 2019 Mary Sue.
Oh, fuck off. When Luke turns up in fucking Jedi, he's like the most powerful being in the fucking universe. He just walks into Jabba the Hutt's palace.
He's fucking laser master.
Yeah, but he went through a lot of shit to get there.
He did.
And think about cinemas. Pre like Matrix, action cinema was fucking terrible anyway. It was like there was a couple of standout movies like Predator and shit, but really it was stuff like Time Cop and shit. Like that's your sci-fi action movie that you get. So
don't get me started on Predator.
Don't
get me started on Predator.
It wasn't an insane.
Isn't he the guy from Predator?
Yeah, he is.
She.
The guild leader in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, she.
What do you mean?
The guild leader in The Mandalorian.
No, not the Mandalorian. That's the Mandalorian leader.
The Mandalorian. Sorry, guild leader. Mandalorian.
Yeah, the actual bounty hunter guild.
Yeah.
I forget his fucking name. For fuck's sake, he's.
Can we actually talk about the Mandalorian? Actually,
he's.
You can see why DropPod lasts so long, right? We haven't actually really spoken about the Mandalorian yet.
Something I want to talk about the Mandalorian is the PTSD armor.
Mm.
Can we talk about the PTSD? Which, by the way, makes these shows a video game because he keeps leveling up his armor and getting new gear.
Oh god. He is leveling up. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. He's literally playing a video game.
Okay.
What about the PTSD? Or is that what it is?
That's what I'm getting. Like well, not every episode, but he keeps just getting new armor. He completes a quest, he gets new armor. You know, that's like his.
He's playing D&D. He's going out.
Yeah, and in the third one, he gets a new weapon. You know.
Okay, so
his weapon is dope. We haven't touched on that fucking his.
Oh yeah.
The fucking whatever, I don't know what it is, like an
disintegrator.
What the fuck does it do?
It just disintegrates anything.
Yeah,
it's so broken. I love it. It's so stupidly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's disruptor. Cool. Sorry, I love it.
Yeah.
Cool shit. It has so many fucking gadgets on it as well because it can stun people. He was able to fucking listen through walls with it and shit as well.
With the scope, and he can like.
He's got the fucking eraser thing. Remember that movie Eraser? With Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh god, I haven't thought about that film since I saw it in like 1980.
You could see through fucking wooden doors with it or whatever.
That's such a shitty film as well.
Yeah, it's so good. But yeah, it was shit.
Well, just like to touch on what Peachy said, with the armor flashback things, that was one of the things that actually I didn't really like.
The flashbacks?
The flashbacks with the armor smashing.
I didn't until the second chapter.
I think it makes complete sense.
It makes complete sense. I just don't. If it had happened,
his people were like genocidally murdered, basically.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Essentially, I mean, they're fucking. That is the Mandalorian history, anyway, isn't it? But they
it is, yes.
That's.
Oh, do you think he's like the race Mandalorian?
I don't think he's a Mandalorian, no.
I didn't think he was the race Mandalorian. I just thought he's you know, a tribe member.
Yeah, like
that's what they're coming at with the PTSD.
Well, I don't know what the because the Mandalorians split into two at one point. There's like peaceful ones and then warring ones.
Well, there was
after that happens, and I think the peaceful ones win, and then because that's the fucking
kind of the
woman that Kenobi was gonna bang was leading them, right? What was her name?
There's a couple of civil wars that the Mandalorians have, so
always in civil war. Mandalorians were fucking huge. They were they all fucking houses and shit, didn't they? That controlled.
They had an empire. It wasn't as big as, you know, they expanded. They got some planets and stuff, and then they went to war with the Jedi, and the Jedi were forced to exterminate their home planet. No jokes.
Yeah, that was fucking ages before, though.
Yeah, and you know.
I think they are Mandalorians, like proper Mandalorians. I think they might be some of the very last ones. I think that's the point. And I think
we see more of them in the third chapter.
I think when they're fucking smacking that armor and he's having those weird PTSD things, I think it's partially PTSD, but I think it's also partially him getting in touch with that root. You know?
Oh, that
racial root of his.
Because he does sit there and watch his armor being made. Maybe it's like a ritual thing. Because their armor is quite ritual, isn't it? It's like a major part of the Mandalorian.
That is actually true. Radk in chat said, didn't Darth Maul become leader of a Mandalorian faction? He did. Yeah,
because they there's a point where one of them is a Jedi. And he crafts that fucking dope,
Yeah, the white lightsaber. The black. Yeah, the black.
I fucking love that thing. It's so stupid, but I love the way it looks.
We are going to spoil chapter 3, but we will say before we spoil chapter 3, so you can, like, you know, bugger off or whatever.
Well, if I say anything about chapter 3, it's going to be the most fucking non.
Vibro blades. Did you guys see those?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Spoiler.
That's not a spoiler. Come on. Let's talk about the first one. What happens in the first one? They set him up as a bounty hunter. What the fuck is that ice shark thing?
It scared me.
Oh, yeah,
Does that exist? I've never.
That for some reason that felt 40k to me, like they're on a death world.
I guess, kind of.
We can't really talk about 40k though.
What's this thing about droids? Because they keep like bringing it up, but it's.
I mean, did you not see chapter 3? The flashback in chapter 3 kind of explains.
You reckon it's just that?
Just that?
I mean, there isn't like a droid.
There is.
Do you know what I mean? There's thousands of different types of droids, and they're all different.
But
that's not how PTSD works.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, fucking Billy Perfect brain.
I don't have PTSD armor.
Childhood, fucking peachy, fucking brought up in fucking
the
rich family in Wales.
You reckon it's just that?
Don't let Peachy talk to Inigo Montoya. They will not get along.
No, I definitely think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I guess that makes kind of sense. Because in the second one, he's with the bounty droid, which the humor in this is like
actual humor.
I don't know. It's humor. It kind of makes sense, but it is obviously we need humor here. I'm not sure how I feel about it because I enjoyed the humor.
Yeah.
That was Taika Waititi, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who was the voice in that droid? And there's no way he didn't just fucking do what he wanted to do because that's what he does.
And self-destruct.
I loved all the memes that came out of that self-destruct. Like you look up that whatever it's called droid meme.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you step outside in the morning and it's slightly too cold on your way to work, and it's like initiating self-destruct or some shit. There's so many good memes that came out of that. I liked that droid.
That scene legitimately made me laugh. Like, just him continually.
Can I tell my fact about that droid? I told Sheepy a couple of times.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So that bounty hunter droid is in the scene with Boba Fett with all the different bounty hunters. And one of those types of droids, not that bounty hunter droid, right?
Yeah.
And his head was also used in the cantina scene as a lamp.
Huh. It probably was a lamp, wasn't it? No, in the fucking production stuff from the original movies.
There's another bounty hunter. I don't know if they're supposed to be a droid or if they're in a suit, but it looks a bit insectoid. That was in that was one of the bounty hunt, because all the other bounty hunters in the guild are kind of shit bounty hunters, aren't they?
I mean, I guess so.
Like, I mean, he's the best bounty hunter. I mean, he's good. He's a badass, right? But he's not Superman, as we've already discussed. And I think that might be because they're all shit. Because they didn't come across.
I like what I like about him is that if he didn't have that fucking armor.
Oh yeah, he takes hits.
Yeah, he would fucking. The armor has saved him a lot, which might be a metaphor.
2 times in the first chapter.
Then the fucking what is it called, a big horn or whatever, that fucking
Longhorns, I think,
killed him. Yeah.
Although it should be called Muddy Dirty Moss Beast with Bighorn, because Jesus Christ, that thing is just gross.
I hated that. The thing that made me nervous about that second episode fight with that thing is that he, for some reason, took the baby with him. I would have left the baby with the old man.
Well, I think it's supposed to show that he doesn't care that much about it, except as a bounty. But yeah, I see what you mean. It doesn't make that much sense.
I think that was kind of I only trust myself. I am a lone wolf kind of thing.
Well,
I think it was
because he's constantly trying to give Nick Nolte money for helping him.
Yeah,
no, I think he wouldn't have done that. I think it was weird, and the only reason it was there is so that it could do
the. Yeah, I think that's right.
I don't think he would have left it. That's why I was really surprised.
Go on.
We can't talk about that, but what he did in the third one, I was really surprised about that.
I wasn't, but I like. There was another thing that happened in the third one that isn't a massive spoiler, but like I'm just gonna say the word fireworks. There was like some fucking Deus Ex fireworks. They like make a big deal of it as well, because she's like, I'm gonna give you the whistling fucking birdies or whatever it's called.
Whistling birdies, isn't it?
And
I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that? And it was
it's another video game trope.
It was such a video game trope.
Leveling up.
Yeah.
Is that why we like it? Because we like video games.
It's a video game, isn't it? We're just watching a fucking video game.
Well, yeah. I mean, the first episode or first chapter, whatever. I think was really good. It did a great job of getting me into the story with very little talking, or
I liked how low-key it was.
Yeah. Because what I was expecting was something very, very different, and like PG said, Sheepy, this is made specifically for you. You love spaghetti westerns and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty damn good. But what I'd like to point out is we all watched chapter 2 as well. Was anyone else, just speaking as the episode in general, was anyone else surprised that nothing really happened and yet you were more invested than any of the recent Star Wars films?
I was definitely invested in story, and they're not talking as much. They're just saying some things that are important, but they're not like constantly narrating why something is important. It just is important. They show it being important.
Yeah, things are still being established, and but it's literally the story is he's stuck and he can't get off, and it's him dealing with that. Also, you can still really like the character even though he got beaten by Jawas, and even stormtroopers don't get beaten by Jawas.
I have a weird question that I don't have any idea if anyone can answer, but I thought Jawas were native to Tatooine. So where the fuck? Why was there just Jawas?
Oh no, I was reading something about this.
I have the exact same thing on that whatever planet he was on. That big giant fucking
the sandcrawler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're traders.
Yeah.
Right. They're like the Khajiit of Star Wars.
They just go everywhere. Like, why do they all have?
I wasn't surprised at the Jawa because I think the Jawas are everywhere. It's the actual sandcrawler because the sandcrawler was something that those Jawas like refurbished and refitted from a past war on Tatooine.
On Tatooine, that's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at that thing going, wouldn't they have a different thing, even if they are here? They would have made, like, Jawas are all about, that's junkers, aren't they? They're like classic fucking sci-fi junkers, and they should be.
I think
every Jawa's colony, that even if they all, like, their thing is that they're in these big roving fucking home things, surely it should look different. I know that they're sort of like.
Yeah, so that's a refurbished, that's not a Jawa thing, but that's in Expanded Universe. And in the movies, Jawas have that thing, so current canon is that. I mean, it's not too much of a stretch that they could have bought one, because they're really good for getting around and storing all their junk in, but yeah, that's what surprised me, not just the Jawas being there.
I was like, it makes sense that they could be there, but I feel like that's another one of those things that I'm like, that was just written in so that people who didn't were kind of super casual Star Wars fans who, you know, like if I watched that with Emma, which I almost did, I almost started watching this with Emma because, whatever. But she didn't know fuck all about Star Wars. She's like, I love The Last Jedi, Kylo and Rey, I love them, you know, and I'm like, But I'm also like, bless you, you don't understand. You know, I'm like, it's like if my dog is sat next to me, like, I like that. I'll be like, yeah, you do. Wow. But yeah, I feel like that was written in that fucking the Sandcrawler, just so that like the casuals can be like, oh, it's those things from the movie or so.
See,
10 years ago. It kind of seemed a bit weird to me that they had the exact same fucking Sandcrawler from fucking.
I think
Tatooine.
It threw me because I knew about the Sandcrawler.
I went, oh fuck, we're on Tatooine. I was like, I didn't realize. Like, it was a big deal for a moment, and I was like, I don't think we are. I think that's just.
I think you're right, but it's actually a good thing to bring up. Is basically, and this is just for me, not speaking for Peachy, especially because I know Peachy likes parts of the Last Jedi and etc. It's the difference for me between like the Last Jedi and the Force Awakens and the Mandalorian is there are instances where I get pulled out a little bit where I'm like, I'm not sure that this really makes sense, but it's easy to get past it because you can feel the effort and there's the majority of it is
it didn't
well crafted.
It didn't even knock a point off for me, you know?
No.
I was like, whatever.
It's something where you look at it and you're like, that's a bit off, and I'm not sure about that.
Well, that Salacious Crumb, that's literally the Jim Henson fucking puppet, right?
Yeah.
That's just in there.
Yeah.
But they didn't point at it and go, Star Wars, AT-ST. No?
AT-STs.
All the stuff that's in there that you know, it isn't pointed out.
No.
It's just there.
It's not even always centered.
Some losers like us that are going, yeah, well, they're not even on Tatooine. Yeah, it is. The
thing is, the architecture on that planet they're on, if you look at the houses, it looks like Luke's uncle's house and stuff.
Yeah.
Like with those weird dome things.
Then, maybe they
I
are.
think they chose that because that looks like the Mexican houses, like where you have shootouts in Red Dead.
Also, to be fair, like Tatooine was established as a kind of hideout in a way, like because the place they go to.
True.
What's
think? I don't think that is Tatooine though.
No,
it could
Did
be.
they say where it was?
No.
Peach is right. They chose it aesthetically so that you're given these sort of like Western vibes.
Yeah.
I like there's a comment in your chat where like everyone has a spaceship, right? Because that's just for some reason everyone has a fucking spaceship. But not only that, but everyone can fucking build and repair them as well. Like you can repair like that, like I don't even I don't know how to fucking jumpstart a car.
Here's
everyone in Star Wars can rebuild from scratch their own.
The thing is, like it is like cars. Like what you said, it is like cars. Everyone has a fucking car.
Yeah.
I can do minor works to my car. I couldn't rebuild my car if
they can
Jawas picked
rebuild
it
their
apart.
car, dude. Like everyone's fucking shit
Here's,
gets junkered by Jawas, and they can all be like, all I need to do is get the parts back. It's about fucking Phantom Menace. It's all about getting that fucking part, right?
Yeah.
Oh god.
The whole thing. This is just about getting a fucking part for that stupid
God,
shit.
sorry. Let's
It's a bit of tax embargo, trade embargo, and then I need to capitalist.
Car repair.
I need an item.
So I'm gonna fucking enter this miner into a fucking incredibly dangerous.
Here's a thought.
I feel like as well, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan would have been just as good in the pod racing as Anakin. Surely.
Yeah. Probably.
But there wasn't there something about like, because all the pilots are really small, right? Wasn't that like hand waved?
Maybe that's what it is. It has to be small. Surely that's.
Because he's a child, he's small enough to actually race.
That seems silly though. Like you couldn't make a fucking someone big enough to sit in. What's the difference between a child and fucking Ewan McGregor? How tall is Ewan McGregor? Like 4'8"? Come on.
Okay. So, wait.
He's still a fully grown man compared to a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not a big like the different. Like, I think what's that? One of the those sleds, you know, that they do in the Olympics.
Bobsledding.
Bobsled.
Luge.
How big is a bobsled? That's the size of a fucking pod racing pod. You could fucking make one of them. But big enough for Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon would kick the fuck out of anyone in that race.
I guess it's.
I just got lucky because he.
No. What about the fact that it was specifically designed for Anakin?
Yeah, make it another one. Half
Well,
that movie.
they don't have time to make another one. They were already like
he
partway
makes
through
half
it.
of that ship in the movie. There's that whole bit where it's him and he's just building his fucking fixing his pod up or whatever. Maybe. But they could easily do it.
I don't know why I'm defending the fucking episode 1 because episode 1's fucking terrible. But no, just very quickly for
that's one of the only other good scenes in that movie.
I've been trying to get this
Mr.
point.
Bean. Do you remember Mr. Bean when he puts the fucking sofa on the top of his car? On the top of his Mini?
Oh yeah.
They put an armchair on top of Anakin's pod and sit Qui-Gon in it.
Okay, very quickly. Considering what we were talking about for the Jawas, and how easy it is to like rebuild and repair spaceships, maybe they just turned the sandcrawler into a spaceship and flew to a different planet.
Yeah, that seems a little bit Transformerish though. That thing doesn't look like it can fucking transform into.
Oh no, it's just me trying to come up with something
one of
for
those
a reason.
Sandcrawler things. I can try and find out.
I guess
it is just there because it's like that's a Star Wars thing that Jawas have.
It's just weird, yeah. That's what they make. They just have this specific design. Maybe that's what their thing is. That's why they're junkers. They're like, we have to make a sandcrawler. That's what we do. That's why they're just fucking constantly roving around, just jacking shit from people and running away from people, like fucking stronger people and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing where he's not Superman. They fuck up the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like, he does fuck up quite a lot and just disintegrates them with that fucking ridiculous gun. But, like, when there's, like, loads of... Have you guys ever played Super Star Wars on the Super Nintendo?
No.
Okay,
wait,
there is a level... There is a level in that. It's hard as shit.
One where you start on a Tauntaun.
That is Super Empire Strikes Back.
It's the only one I've played.
Yeah.
Well, the one before that, you're Luke, and there is a sandcrawler going on, and he's jumping platforms and getting off, and there's little Jawas sticking their heads out of poles and stuff, and then you've got to kill them, and they're trying to shoot at you. Basically, the bit where the Mandalorian is doing that is directly taken from Super Star Wars from the Super Nintendo. Directly.
More evidence that this is a video game, not a TV.
Yeah.
It's a video game, dude. It's just a fucking. We're gonna find out that at the end of this they're gonna do one of those. Like, you remember when they revealed the fucking Skyrim reveal thing where they were like, what was that? The Elder Scrolls reveal. They're going to reveal that the Mandalorian was in fact an Elder Scrolls game.
At the end, he's going to wake up on that cart.
At the end, he's going to wake up. Oh God.
I just with the I want to go back to episode 1 quickly, or chapter 1. Because we kind of
please do.
you remember when we were talking about the Mandalorian? I liked that they established him as being kind of unfeeling with that first dude, although there was a bit of kind of comedic, like him trying to bribe him and all that kind of stuff.
I thought that they were gonna go full like Frank Castle with him. I thought the Mandalorian was gonna be like an anti-hero.
Yeah,
and he's gonna be relatively unlikable.
But
he's not.
He's
just a little PTSD sad boy. You know?
Yeah.
Quite good.
Yeah, but I mean, he does things and fucks people over because he's just doing his job.
Sort of. Who's he really fucked over though? That wasn't a bad guy. He's like
he is a little bit.
That other guy that was just a bit of a dick with the bounty.
Yeah.
Guy.
From the first one, the one that tries to. He goes on about I'm molting, and have you ever seen one of my species shit? It's not pretty.
That was
fucking he's a criminal, isn't he?
But he's not like a bad guy, is he?
He's like a bail dodger or something.
Like a blue collar criminal or something.
Yeah.
Bounty's a bounty, though. I mean, that's fair enough.
And then with the third one, he just wants to get paid. He's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
And then
and
then stuff happens.
Well, within 12 minutes, he has grown on.
But
I think that completely makes sense, actually. You see Baby Yoda, and before that, if Vader had seen Baby Yoda, he would have flipped straight back to the light side.
Yeah, he would have turned up at the youngling's place and like got his lightsaber out, and then Baby Yoda
was in that room. If it was Baby Yoda that walks over and is like, Master Skywalker, you know.
No, he doesn't need to talk.
It is so cute.
He doesn't need to talk. All he needs to do is play with Anakin's balls.
Yeah. He does that. He does the look. He does the look that thing does.
Yeah.
Because that kid that comes up and is like, Master Skywalker.
I'd kill him. I wouldn't have cared. I'd have killed that kid and all the others.
Why he killed the
yeah.
There's a bit in that Vader comic, I think, where or maybe it was one of the books, but he walks up to. It says you get an internal monologue briefly that in that moment he considers grabbing all the younglings and saving them.
Yeah.
It was that was the true final moment for him as he walks into that room and that kid runs up to him and he's like, Master Skywalker, and he actually considers just going, fuck, what have I done? And grabbing him and trying to escape from the Jedi Temple, but he doesn't. Instead, he just fucking brutally murders them all. But if it was Baby Yoda in there, he would have done it, I reckon.
In my headcanon, that scene where he's looking at the young kid who is like Master Yoda, but Master Skywalker, whatever. He has a flashback to his horrible acting in episode 1, and that's why he kills them all.
How dare you?
Because he wants to erase the memory of his shitty acting.
Can I put on my liberal Brad cap for a little while?
Oh yeah, go for it.
It's a rare sight, but I'll tell you one fucking legit thing about Phantom Menace over the next 2 prequels is Padme.
Yeah.
Also, PG, I'm sorry for my sheepy my puzz in my mic. I haven't got my mic guard on.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter.
So Padme in episode 1 is like a really 3D, well thought out woman.
Yeah.
Like young woman who's making these really huge decisions and doing really well with it. She's a really integral part of the story, and she's a thinking, feeling human woman. Then literally in the next movie, she becomes like, oh no, I'm sad. Like she's just reduced to like this fucking, not even like a one.
In the third one, she literally dies of being sad.
Where did that woman go? She was like this fucking like dope, strong, independent, pretty much woman who was in love with an 8-year-old.
Yeah, let's not touch on that.
She finally found the man that she could reproduce and actually fulfill what a woman is in a movie.
Apparently, yeah, it's really weird. I think that's one of the.
She died from a broken heart. All right.
I mean, it's an expansion on the idea of Princess Leia in Episode 1, where she has to decide on whether to betray the rebellion or resistance.
Right, and beyond that, but I think even
they go further than that.
Isn't a big deal, I guess. But
no. But it's very similar.
Just is reduced so massively.
Yeah.
To this tropey woman. Weird, like in George Lucas's weird love story. Like the second movie's love story stuff is horrendous. Yeah. To even just fucking watch when they're rolling around in that field or whatever. Is that the second movie?
Yeah.
And on the balcony
and all that shit. Like it's awful, but Anakin remains pretty much, stable in terms of character and growth and why, which is good because otherwise those movies really would be terrible.
Yeah.
But she is reduced so much to just fucking awful nothing woman.
It's kind of weird when is it the third one in the arena thing? She turns up.
Second one.
She's got a gun. It's the second one. She's got a gun and she's just like, it's like, wait a minute, you're literally been written out of this movie. Basically, you are checked out. You are just.
It's such a shame. Like it's such a weird letdown considering you watch the first movie and just watch all of the decisions she makes in that movie and how big they are. And the plays that she does, they're really intelligent, like fucking plays, like everything. Because she's pretending to be, handmaiden instead and shit. Like that. Either way, she's still doing all this really fucking dope shit, and then she's just reduced to nothing. I think that's one of the biggest letdowns about those.
Well, she's fired, right? Well, she's not fired, but in terms of she's demoted, and it's like
Oh, her whole thing is really weird. Yeah, she goes from being a queen, and then she becomes
an ambassador.
An ambassador, which is less
but
than.
They have
more than.
Queens are like prime ministers. They're only in power for like.
She becomes an ambassador in terms of the fucking full federation or whatever it's called. That fucking room where ET's in there as well, like everyone is in it.
My secret thought here is that George Lucas was snubbed by the Queen at some point, and so he's like, I'm gonna make a world where there's a queen, but she's only queen, and then she gets demoted to ambassador, and falls in love with some shitty dude. It's all like one big middle finger to the Queen.
I also just to put back on my red cap after I'm just gonna take the blue cap out and put the red cap.
Go for it.
The when you do watch the Clone Wars, all of the Padme episodes are the worst ones, and it's a shame, but they are. They're so fucking shit.
I mean,
I just found out something that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I've also found out the name of the Mandalorian. It's Din Djarin.
Yeah.
But he is an orphan.
Yeah.
He's an orphan. This is a Mandalorian clan. So it's not a tribe, it's a clan.
Yeah.
Separatist attack in the Clone Wars. He was orphaned at a young age.
If it is a Clone Wars, that lends credence to the thing that we spoke about before.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's gonna happen. Because it's gonna be poetic.
See, I have a theory about how this is gonna end, and it's not a spoiler or anything like that. It's just purely because of the feel I get from it. I feel like it's gonna end, and I don't want to say this because it's Disney and Disney can't let go of things that make them money, but I have the feeling it's going to end with him dying in like a Butch and Sundance style shootout.
I could see that. Happening.
Just because it's so spaghetti western and it's so like.
I think it depends.
That orphan thing totally makes sense for the Baby Yoda.
There's a lot of.
That's an orphan as well, right?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
We assume
so.
Maybe
I don't know. It depends. I think it depends what they want to do with this Baby Yoda thing. Because if his job eventually becomes return the Baby Yoda to its home world or whatever, maybe that's all there is to it. But if it is something,
he's basically. We're gonna get into spoilers.
Well, let's. Is there anything else we want to talk about or touch on for episode chapter
Oh, I
1
haven't
and 2?
Chapter 1. I can't really think.
The fact that it's 100%, because this is both 1 and 3 spoilers, but in 1, that the scientist dude
Yeah.
that doesn't want them to kill it.
Yeah, what's that?
Oh!
What's his story? Is he gonna come back to it? He's got to, surely.
He's got to come back.
Camino cloning logo on him.
Mm.
Apparently, I saw this on something else.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I didn't.
He, you know those things that.
So he's he is trying to clone the Yodas.
He's trying to clone it. Either that or it is a clone.
Or there's some genetic thing for the Yoda race that.
Jump to episode 3.
It's possible.
And also think about Rogue One.
Yeah.
That dude is a slave, or he's being held against his will by the Empire. Right.
Well, yeah. So not quite a slave, but yeah, you work for us now, kind of deal.
Yeah. Rogue One, that was all the fucking scientists, right? They were all the fucking mads and all this.
Well, that was aping World War II nuclear, the Cold War stuff with all the German scientists, right?
I don't want to get into spoilers, but I have to address something in the chat. It can't end with Boba Fett killing him. Boba Fett's dead.
That's a joke.
Okay, first of all, Boba Fett isn't dead. He definitely got out of the Snorlax pit.
The Snorlax.
He does get out of the Snorlax pit, apparently, which is weird.
I mean, Darth Maul survived being cut in half, so whatever.
Yeah, because he's fucking an awesome character, and they had to bring him back. Like,
he was the only really good character for me. And that's just purely because he didn't talk, and he was just a cool fighter.
That reminded me of something. You know how Obi-Wan kills Darth Maul, but he doesn't have the high ground?
Yeah.
Brad, do you remember playing Fallen Order, and you're crawling underneath these 2 stormtroopers, and they're talking about what's going on, and they're a bit worried, and one of them goes, well, at least we've got the high ground.
Yeah.
Fucking die.
I have a thing for episode chapter 1 that I just thought of.
Oh yeah, go on.
I have another meme that I just thought of as well.
Okay.
I guess you're gonna make your choice.
I'll do my chapter.
Do I want memes or do I want to know about? I want memes. I'm sorry, she.
So Vader. So Anakin is shorter than Obi-Wan, I think. But then he chops his legs off, so he gets big legs, so that he can be taller than Obi-Wan, so he can have the high ground next time.
He also waited for him to get old, and as we all know, old people shrink. So
yeah, no, Anakin didn't age after that.
Yeah. So my thing was, everyone else expecting the droid to team up with him?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna just fucking join the party.
That took me completely by surprise when he just fucking shot him. I was like, what the fuck? I thought he was gonna be like a sidekick comedy character.
Well,
and then...
from the trailer, it looked like it was gonna be a team of bounty hunters, and that's why I was like, oh, it's gonna be this thing. It'll probably be, watchable, but it'll be whatever.
The shit from the trailer hasn't even been in it yet. We haven't seen Bill Burr. Bill Burr's in the show somewhere.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, is that Bill Burr? And Peachy was like, who's Bill Burr? Because,
that Twi'lek woman, she was like a big deal. That people were saying she was going to be the fucking...
Well, isn't there an ATST in the trailer as well?
Yeah, there's a... you haven't seen him on the bike yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nighttime bike ride scene, which should be good.
Oh my god, that fucking cock tease in the Fallen Order where you get on one of those speeders.
Yeah.
And you get in position and then you just crawl past them like, you bastards. But then they give you the...
How many episodes is this?
8.
8.
Yeah. The last one is on the 26th, I think, of December.
Oh, December, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, can we come back every week?
Yeah, sure.
It's gonna be good, right?
Like, if we want to do this again at some point to talk through the other episodes, I'm happy.
Come back every 3.
Sure.
So there's enough, because otherwise we're just going to keep going over fucking Padme being...
I mean, like, this is the thing, is I did say, be prepared for me to shit on the new trilogy, because this feels like a middle finger to the new trilogy. It, like, the main character keeps fucking up, and...
Yeah, I don't know if it's a middle finger to it. I just think that it was just handled by people, and I think they probably...
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously saw. I think some people seem to be making the right decisions at some of these companies, especially when it comes to the TV shows.
Yeah.
And I think that's all it is. I think they've learned a lesson from those movies.
Also, it's a TV show. There is not as much money being thrown around as a movie.
Well, and this is the thing as well, is if you were to take something that you love either as a kid or something you enjoyed as an adult, like say a book series, or like for me, for example, I love the Chronicles of the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant. And if you were to say to me,
he's made up right then, by the way.
Brad, I don't know if you can tell, but Sheepdog went to a private boarding school.
He fucking made that up. I don't know what the fuck he just said, but he made it up on the top. He said, he just
okay then.
My childhood was the adventures of the purple elephant.
Okay then.
No one's ever heard of that. Yes. Well,
the Discworld series. Is that better? Is that better? You fucking asshole.
Something that my father wrote for me.
Hey, no. My dad used to tell me and my brother stories when we were kids about two sharks that lived, and he used to go into like massive detail, and the sharks were called Sam and Tom, like our names.
And later, those sharks went on to become.
By the way, Sheepdog's called Sam Tom.
Yeah.
Will Smith and Angelina Jolie.
Well, no, the fucking I'm terrified of sharks, so I don't know whether he did a good or bad job about that. But no, just quickly.
All right. So some bullshit that you've made up. Then what was it called? The
Chronicles of Thomas Covenant.
The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant.
Yeah, it's got.
Sounds like something. I swear to God, that sounds like something. That sounds like one of the names that I would send Peachy.
Honest.
As we send each other D&D character names, we're like, right, there you go. I'd be like, right, say that. There you go.
Honestly,
Chronicles of Thomas Covenant.
Honestly, Brad, I would advise you to read it. I think you would get a lot out of it.
I believe you.
It's.
You don't know what you believe me, then. That's what I like about that.
No. Like it's one of those things which is like, it's like 3 novels that I'd love and I've read like 60, 70 times.
What is it?
It's basically this guy with leprosy. Is like
already.
He's like, it's in like the 80s, I think, or 70s maybe, and everyone fucking hates him in his town. And
leprosy?
Yeah. And he gets transported to a magical world, a lot like Lord of the Rings style setting. And everyone in the world, all the people that he meets, are just wonderfully nice. They're selfless. They, worship nature, and they think he's their savior. And he doesn't believe that it's real. And he is a giant asshole to everyone. And it's literally, the story is him trying to preserve his sanity in this fantasy world that he gets transported to, that he thinks is a dream.
Leprosy?
He gets healed every time he goes back to the world, and that scares
he flips.
He goes back and forth a few times, and it scares the shit out of him that he gets healed. He doesn't want to be healed because it's not real to him.
Right. And is it real?
It's kind of left up to interpretation a little bit.
Yeah, I'm such a cynic. I'd be like, yeah, he made all that up because he was, mentally just.
I mean,
upset.
it's
kind of escapism.
Yeah, and that's what he thinks. He thinks he's trying to kill himself in his dreams, and so he's fighting against his dream of the world. But at the same time, it's really seductive because everyone's really nice. He can, lose his leprosy. He's got like magical powers that are gifted to him, but he doesn't want to use them. Like, he literally refuses to fight the majority of the time. Because he's scared of power.
And that relates to the Mandalorian.
Yeah, about 45 minutes ago. Sorry. On this tangent as to something to do with when you're a child and someone takes your a beloved thing.
There are 10 novels for the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, but the first 3 are the important ones. The other ones can be ignored or read as you like. But yeah, if someone was to come to me and say, "Hey, Sheepy, this thing that you love is going to be made into a movie," I'd say no. TV series I'll accept, but movies, no, it just won't work. You know, if you're adapting something, if there's an IP that you love, hope that it becomes a TV series, because films just don't work anymore. In general.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that films don't work anymore. I think 2 things happen with the fucking Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
One, they practically bought Star Wars and leaped straight into a new trilogy and fucked it so hard in so many ways that it was just a clusterfuck, and they've ruined everything, and I hate them forever because of it.
Yeah. I'm there.
But 2, I do think people, there is an element of this where like Star Wars fandom are just the fucking worst.
I can think of a worse.
You are way more precious about a Star Wars trilogy than you are about anything else, right? Peachy hasn't even watched the Clone Wars. That's like, but he's seen all the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
We people are just ingrained. Like, we don't give a fuck about the alternative franchise media stuff, video games and stuff. It's like, oh, that was a good Star Wars game. That was a bad Star Wars game. But it doesn't make anyone go, I'm going to kill everyone at Disney.
Completely butchered what I love.
Well,
for some reason, with the movies, we did that. Even though they've released so much Star Wars shit over the years that's good and bad. That Star Wars fucking Christmas thing.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck because it wasn't a main fucking bullshit thing.
I mean, that's hilarious. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I mean, it was probably, I think that's better than The Last Jedi.
It's really hard to watch. It is so hard. I've tried like 3 or 4 times.
That's coming from Peachy. Have you seen his stream?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
That's probably really loud.
No, Brad, they fucking haven't seen my stream. That's the point.
But I think there's an element where, and I'm definitely guilty of it, even though I also stand by everything that I hate about the movie. I'm way more precious about the movies than I am about a TV show. They can fuck up a TV show and it doesn't really ruin my life. But for some reason they fuck up a movie and I'm like, you straight up, I feel like you have hurt me. I came up The Last Jedi, like when Yoda is standing next to all the fucking clones and Order 66 goes down and he feels all the Jedi being killed and he's like stumbling out. That was me stumbling out of the fucking cinema, hand on my chest. Like something has gone so wrong here. Like Emma was like, "Oh my god, I liked it when the flashy lights was happening. Oh my god," and I was like in tears, like I broke down in the street.
That sounds.
She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Hand me the gun."
Yeah, that sounds disturbingly like me and Peachy.
Oh, seriously, like it was fucking weird. Like I felt so awful about it, but for some reason, like then that's never happened to me when I've played a game or watched something else from Star Wars that wasn't a movie.
But the thing is, like the games I've played, I haven't fucked over anything. They've been good.
Oh, I'm sure there are some that have.
Yeah, but I don't think I've played them.
I mean, wait.
And most of the games get fucked over because
Battlefront
2 shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say Battlefront.
Yeah, but they don't fuck over
the lore, right?
Star Wars. Yeah,
they
the lore.
do a little bit, don't they?
I mean, some shit doesn't make sense. A lot of people have. We were talking about this on my stream today. I weirdly, I don't know how, but I have seen a lot of, but never played The Force Unleashed. But a lot of people don't like Starkiller because he's so fucking broken that it's like canon breaking. Is he canon or not anymore? What is the rules on him?
I don't know what the rules are on the games.
I would assume he is. So I'd assume he isn't. But
when he was, people were really pissed off because he's just way too strong and stuff. And I don't know the super details on this, but I remember there was a faction of Star Wars fans that fucking hated it.
Yeah.
That he was that strong because he was like as strong as Luke, and people were like, "Fuck you," like no way.
I never got the impression.
He was a Vader clone, wasn't he?
Yeah, but you're not supposed to be able to clone force powers either, which is the other thing I don't understand about the Mandalorian.
Here's a question. here's a question for you guys.
Yeah, but I don't think he's cloned. Otherwise, why they wouldn't be that interested in him?
He's not cloned, but they want to clone him. But if you don't clone his force powers, then what's the point in cloning him?
Well,
right?
I was.
But then there's and again
is inherently force.
When he was listening to a conversation with him, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Get the shit out of him" or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you reckon that is?
I think that's them wanting the genes of like force sensitivity, so they can make super.
What do you call that? Yeah. And what's the name of that?
Midichlorians.
Midichlorians, dude.
Yeah.
They're bringing it back, right. Here's the thing: we have, and I swear to God, I guarantee you, within the next time we do one of these in 3 weeks, yeah. Everyone will hate this show. I can guarantee you. I swear, it's coming, man. The hate is coming for it soon. It's too high as well.
Yeah,
we're too high off of how good it is.
No, but they haven't gone all out like It's been.
But they might.
You wait till they fucking rip the midichlorians out of the fucking thing, and
what
got him in one of those classic like Hollywood fucking. You know, like the injection thing that looks like a gun in everything.
They inject him with midichlorians and
the Mandalorian with midichlorians. He becomes the fucking. What was that one Jedi Mandalorian that reached Mandalore?
Yeah, I can't remember the.
He'll get the sword.
The worst thing that could happen.
I hope they don't do any of that. I'm worried that he is gonna like get that sword, and that's gonna.
Yeah.
Let's talk about chapter 3.
Let's talk about chapter fucking 4 and 5 or 6 when we actually get a flashback. One of these episodes is definitely going to be a flashback, right?
I think so. Yeah.
It might be next week.
Did you see in the trailer where he takes his helmet off?
No.
I think that's.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be him. That's gonna be the flashback episode, and that the girl that.
I don't think we're gonna see his face though.
No, I don't think so either. I think the girl that he's talking to is someone from his past, and like he takes his helmet off.
It's gonna be another kid from the village or some shit.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely gonna be a flashback episode, and it's gonna be, and this is me predicting shit based on no spoilers.
Yep.
Little kid Mandalorian and a Jedi. And you guys have a really good point as to why it won't be, but I still think they're going to do it.
I still don't think so. I could totally see it happening, though.
That's an episode 2 question, because I can't remember, because your point is that he didn't fucking have any idea what was happening when little Yoda used the Force.
Yeah.
But does he not know, or is he just fucking so confused? Because even if you saw someone use the Force, we only know the Force is happening because we hear a sound effect, you know, like...
And the music implies it.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to heal him, and he's go back into your little box.
I love that scene.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a great scene.
So, but does he actively, like, say to, like, the old man, like, I have no idea what the fuck just happened?
Pretty much,
in the back of his head, he's like, he used the fucking Force.
No.
No, he's straight up super confused.
See, like this is the thing is I hate to use this to draw upon, but when they meet Han Solo in The Force Awakens, and he's like, it's
the Force is a myth.
It's supposed to be a myth, and I think they're playing on that, like the idea that most regular people
he's
don't
older
know.
now. He was alive during the Clone Wars when. He's like what, 10 during that? The Jedi are I know that they get like discredited and turned into the villain by the Empire afterwards, and it becomes like a propaganda thing. But that doesn't mean that he would not have heard of them, especially as a Mandalorian. Mandalorians, their whole thing is they were in that war with the Jedi. They that's why they use flamethrower.
Yeah, but he's not a Mandalorian, he's an orphan.
But he is a Mandalorian.
I think he is from a Mandalorian clan. It's just the clan was like
same
wiped out.
Thing.
Yeah.
In the sense that they're gonna have he clearly has like regardless of whether he's a fucking blood Mandalorian or just a Mandalorian in name.
He'd have been brought up with the
a Mandalorian.
What do they keep calling the newbies? Because he keeps saying save some of the steel for the initiates.
What did they call those? Yeah.
What are they called?
The younglings?
Whatever it was a Mandalorian youngling, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What? I'm going to Google it. What is a Mandalorian youngling?
The initiates or the...
Something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't think of the word they used, but it was basically that. Here's a question. Was anyone else really worried about the frozen in carbonite thing?
Yeah, that's another sandcrawler thing, right?
Yeah.
Look, he did the thing.
What's wrong with it though?
Fucking cool.
Well,
There's nothing inherently wrong with fan service.
No.
The best part of Rogue One was like 3 minutes of fan service.
Yeah, it's just Darth Vader going fucking ape. But no, the reason
the frozen carbonite thing specific to somewhere?
It's in the Empire Strikes Back, and it was just a way to transport. You know, like it was a convenience thing. It's not how they tend to transport bounties.
Yeah, they were testing it with Solo.
Yeah. So
on humans.
To be honest, it seems effective though. Why wouldn't they have fucking?
Yeah, no, I know. It's just it was
among bounty hunters. It seems like the best. I'd buy one of them if I was a bounty hunter.
Boba Fett was a badass bounty hunter, and he was like, I don't know about this.
This is
kind of deal.
Yeah, this is the thing. Is like I wasn't like they shouldn't do it. I was worried that they were gonna ham fist the fuck out of it, and it was gonna be like, you know, he was
just in the background.
I was
it's just a thing that's there.
I was worried that he was.
He also uses it in this episode,
and that's fine. Like the thing I was really worried about was that he was gonna go, you know, I'm gonna freeze you in carbonite, like Boba Fett did to Han Solo. Remember that? You know, like literally say it out loud and make reference to it. This is what I've been on eggshells with.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I've been on eggshells with this show for the first couple of chapters, just because I'm waiting for the moment where they go Star Wars, ATSTs, blah blah blah. And they haven't done it yet, really. You know?
They're doing things differently because they released like 2 episodes together, basically, didn't they? Because I watched the first one, the second one was out.
No, you just
you waited a bit, I think.
You watched it because I watched it and I didn't watch it.
But I watched it before Baby Yoda was all over the internet.
Yeah, because it hadn't blown up. I think literally like 2 days after you watched it, it blew up because it came out in the rest of the world.
Yeah,
it went up on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus is only US at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think
so. Then how come? Why did all of Britain suddenly see it a week later? Then
they all watched it illegally.
Why did they wait a week? Is what I'm saying.
It takes time to upload illegally.
But the first episode was subdued. Just taught you stuff about the Mandalorian. The second one was, like you said, like almost a side story.
Yeah, it was.
Where he goes and gets the egg of Mantumbi to feed to the Jawas.
Yeah,
which was gross when they were eating that egg. And then everything happens in the third one.
Yeah,
like everything happens. There's loads of lore and there's loads of Mandalorians in it.
How much of a linear lore story it is, because I found myself almost longing for the thing that I expected this to be during this third episode. Like I thought this was going to be almost like a Monster of the Week style show where it's a bounty of the week, where it's just this Mandalorian goes and gets different bounties, and there's maybe an overarch, like Supernatural, you know, like that kind of a show.
Not like that anymore,
okay,
here's a pitch for this show. I realized when he hands him a new bounty or whatever, and I was like, you know what? I actually kind of want to just see this guy go on a couple of bounties now.
Here's a pitch for you guys that won't happen, but I'd totally be cool with happening. One more episode establishing the Mandalorian in the world and getting everything set up, and he goes into hiding with the baby. Time skip. He's hunting bounties with a teenage baby Yoda.
Nah, no way.
and he's raising him as a bounty hunter Mandalorian force using. No.
They're not gonna do that.
They're not gonna do it.
They have to make money when he's on the run.
No, there's no way. It'd be fucking. There's no way. Like 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
If they do that, I'll give you $500.
No, just sub to me. Just sub to me on Twitch.
Never.
Do it.
No.
Do it right now, Brad.
Do it right now.
I would never do it. I don't even think I can. You don't even have a sub button.
I
don't. No, I think that maybe the next or the episode after that is going to be a flashback.
Yeah, probably.
And then
they're going to do side episodes, kind of like the second one. It just happened to be tied into the main story.
Yeah.
Okay, chapter 3 spoilers. He's on the run, right?
Yeah. Okay. Are we doing spoilers? Chapter 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep
chapter 3, guys. Spoilers.
End the fucking stream, honestly.
Go away if you don't want to hear it.
We were on it pretty quick today because we knew we were doing this.
Yeah, you've been warned. Carry on.
Right. So he's on the fucking run because he busts into that place after using his magic gun that destroys everything.
Which is just awesome.
This sounds ridiculous. This sounds shit. It's really not.
It's done well.
Everyone loves Batman. Batman's got all those stupid gadgets for Deus Ex, whatever the fuck he needs. I don't like Batman, by the way.
He steals Baby Yoda back, and then basically some shit happens, which we'll probably talk about because it's a really cool scene. And then he's on the run with a Baby Yoda. He doesn't have his clan anymore, right?
Well, he does.
Got nothing. He's gonna have to do bounty.
They're gonna move, so I think they might come back.
Yeah, I think they're gonna move.
I thought they were gonna join him. I actually thought everyone at the end was gonna go somewhere else, and it was gonna be like these Mandalorians would now look after the baby, because I've been waiting for him to fucking offload this baby.
Yeah,
to someone else, so he can go.
I wasn't expecting him to just give it to them, because he goes in, takes the thing, asks a stupid question, but like gets paid and leaves, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? He goes and gets another bounty. I'm like, so that was just a 3-episode thing? You see a Baby Yoda?
Yeah. I don't know. I think the point of the episode was showing that he was a little bit torn between like his armor PTSD and being a professional and his upbringing as a Mandalorian.
Yeah, I mean,
but look at all the things that happened.
Baby Yoda, right?
Like, how flawed is this fucking character? Look at the things that happen. Like, the big beefy boy Mandalorian, all the Mandalorian armor is fucking dope, by the way.
And how cool is it when he gets all shiny in his armor?
He looks so cool.
I was sporting wood, I'm not gonna lie.
and the flying along next to him.
You're a traitor, and like, we got paid, and that's where like the Mandalorian's coming from. Yeah, we got paid.
So Jon Favreau did Iron Man 1, didn't he? And
which
everyone looks like Iron Man in this now.
Iron Man invented modern superhero movies.
Someone's got a bit of a hard on for Iron Man. Jon Favreau, maybe do something else. Yeah?
I feel like the weird Tweety Bird things were like a direct reference to Iron Man shooting the tank with the. You know, when he goes, dink, boom.
Can we talk about the final stormtrooper to die by the Tweety Birds? He just stands there and watches his brothers in arms die, and he's going, what's going on?
Yeah, I hate shit like that, because in that situation, every one of them would have fired the gun. In the 45 minutes it takes for the little shitty Jubilee from X-Men fireworks. But I did like that they were like,
they set up this weapon.
Yeah.
And again, this is why he's Batman. I've been watching that Titan show as well this week, so it's fresh in my head.
Oh God, why?
I really like the second season of that, by the way. The first season.
Wait, the second season of Titans is out?
Yeah, and I swear to God, I promise you, Sheepdog, if you watch season 1 and you're like,
wait, as in Teen Titans?
Yeah. Season 1 of that show, slight side. I did an 1.5-hour rant on my stream the other day about how season 1, if someone comes up and is like, fuck that show, I enjoyed it, but I think a lot of it is my own personal enjoyment of the source material. I
tried to watch 2 episodes of that and I wanted to kill myself.
I watched the first season,
but I swear something happened to them. About 2 or 3 episodes into the second season, it becomes so goddamn legit. I was so impressed with it, and then I remembered that I don't know what's going on with DC, but they're doing a little bit of the same thing where they kind of seem to be turning a fucking leaf here, or turning a corner. And they're the 2 most recent shows they've put out, Titans and Doom Patrol.
I didn't like Doom Patrol.
I fucking hated Doom Patrol in Titans so much. That might be why I couldn't watch anymore.
Horrendous. But it doesn't matter, because they something fucking weird happened to the whoever the fuck was making DC content on TV
again. They're like, this only costs $1 million. Movies cost like $200 million.
It was written so well. That season 2 of Titans is written really well, and I could not believe it. I'm watching it going, how is this any good? Like I didn't even want to watch it. I just had nothing better to do that day.
I'll watch Titans season 2 then, because I hated the first. I hated the first season.
First season wasn't good. Like if 100% was 100% and 50% was the pass mark, I would give season 1 of Titans like 49, and a lot of that is me just being like, I enjoy
the character, like the idea of
characters from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so fuck that show. But no, they really did well with season 2. Anyway, there's a fucking is it me and you that are the only Superman fans in the world, Sheepdog? No, you can't be a Superman fan.
You're
just not a Batman fan.
I hate Batman. I think Batman. The only good thing about Batman is his villains. Batman himself is like one of the worst characters in
so much.
Like he's one of the worst characters. He's one of the worst characters in superheroes. He's also not a superhero. Fuck you, Batman.
To hear someone else say that online, he's like the thing is, I like Wolverine, but Wolverine is the same. Where he's just like people love him, and so they just fucking kept him going. Like
the only thing
writing him into shit because people like him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in nothing.
The only thing I like Wolverine in is Logan. All of the other ones, I don't really like Wolverine.
As a general character, though, Wolverine is so overhyped, and the same with Batman.
Yeah.
Batman's
not interesting. That's the problem.
Superman is my shit because I fully understand and agree with everyone that's like Superman's boring and whatever. I get you. I understand that. But if I'm gonna fucking read a comic book about people with superpowers, they better be. I want at least one of them to be the Ubermensch. You know, that's what I want him to be. He's unbelievably broken.
I hate that. That's
what I like.
There's like the thing is,
I was abused as a child, Peachy. Okay.
I didn't do it. Don't fucking have a go at me.
Yes, you did.
Look. Superman has a lot of promise, and
he's just power creep.
No. He is
Cautionary tale of power creep.
I agree that Superman is so stupid because he's boring.
He is kind of stupid and he is kind of boring, but there is promise there. Characters
with no flaws are the worst characters.
Yes.
And Superman is that. But I liked him because when I was younger, I wanted a big fucking strong dude who was just really broken. I like OP characters, kinda.
Like this is the thing as
well. I like 24. Look at fucking. You watch 24. Yeah. He's so broken in that. It's stupid, and it's the best thing about it. Because you're just watching this dude, and you're like, put Jack Bauer in that fucking room.
Have you guys seen Batwoman, the TV series?
Oh, fuck that shit.
There are multiple instances where people get shot and stabbed, and then 2 minutes later are perfectly fine, and they've just oh god!
You can't watch that. Don't even mention it.
Sorry.
So the
Mandalorian.
Yeah, let me just do one more sales pitch though, because one of the better characters that I do think from the Superman universe is the sort of second incarnation of Connor Kent, who is the clone they make, which is DNA. Half of its DNA is Superman, and half of its DNA is Lex Luthor. And randomly, right, for no reason ever, halfway. Well, there is a reason, but what feels like no reason at the time. Halfway through this season of Titans, there's just an episode which is just a fucking Connor Kent origin story, and it was like a short movie, and it was dope as shit. It's one of the best fucking TV show things I've seen of like a comic book TV show thing I've seen in a fucking long time. I loved it.
I need to ask Brad something because he's seen Titans season 1. The reveal with the dog. Were you also sad that everyone was so happy and hyped for that thing? That was in Titans, right? When you have the super and the dog. You see
the dog is in the trailer.
Oh,
he's in it now.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. But it's just it was the end of season 1, and it was like, oh look, it's Super Dog.
I told my wife.
Yeah.
I said, I told her about this episode. I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. I said, they like break out of this facility, and he breaks this dog out as well, who for some reason has fucking powers. And she's like, wait, Crypto is. She's like, because I said he's a Crypto or whatever. She's like, Crypto is Superman's dog, and I was like, yeah. She's like, that was like my favorite show as a kid, Crypto the Super Dog, and she didn't even know. Okay. She didn't even know it was Superman's dog the whole time. I'm like, you sicken me, woman. And that's why she's not here anymore.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
Because she independently loved something you loved, but it didn't do it in the right order.
So I kicked her the fuck out.
But yeah,
anyway, she's pregnant as well now, isn't she?
She's what? Yes, she is. On the agreement that it would be a baby Yoda that comes out.
Yeah.
If it's not, they'll be held to pay.
To finish off the thought, fuck Batman. Batman is terrible.
Yeah, Batman, fuck off.
And
can we talk about the best scene in the Mandalorian Chapter 3 now, please?
Was it the bit where he goes all Batman on everyone? Because it was great.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing. Having said fuck Batman, that was amazing.
He is Batman, though. He is. I think that the... I mean, it makes sense, but I feel like when you're watching him, watch the way he moves. He's very reminiscent of the live-action Batmans that you get from...
he's more agile, I'd say. Like when he does the flip and the like, it was very quick. It was like, I'm used to Batman being. Well, he's a lot more kind of like limited by his suit, I would say.
Batman was, yeah.
Well, no, even what's his face? The worst Batman ever. Christian Bale.
If this was a movie Mandalorian, he would have gone in the front door and just murdered everyone as he walked through.
And all the shots would have been bouncing off his armor, and he'd never, there wouldn't be any standoffs.
He was.
No, they wouldn't hit him. Like, they'd be missing, or he'd be dodging, or whatever.
He was on a sneaking mission, which was cool.
Yeah.
It's nice that they're not like.
My favorite scene wasn't that. That was a great scene, but that wasn't my favorite scene. That wasn't the scene that turned me into a child smiling and getting that weird.
Is it
like
when they all?
That, oh my god, am I happy?
When they all jetpack
when
in.
all the Mandalorians just like turn up and like, bro, and then the one he had a fight with earlier is like, I got you because we're still Mandalorians, and I just went, this is so cheesy, but I'm so happy.
My inner Star Wars child came back and for a moment murdered my cynical, evil old self, and was like, I can sit back and enjoy this because it's really cool.
It was a really good episode.
Happy.
Yeah,
Star Wars doesn't make you happy. No. You just kind of enjoy it despite.
No, you don't. I don't. Not anymore.
That was like, it felt like all the pieces of the episode came together. It was really fucking well put together.
They keep setting stuff up and then doing shit with it.
Yeah. It's off-putting. It's off-putting. I don't like it. It feels wrong now.
And then every time he gets on that fucking ship and it lifts off as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just it looks right. Like, how much fucking CGI is fucked nowadays.
And
like,
then the
out, to have it on a TV show is just fucking nice, at least. See some polish. Not everything looks fucking perfect or anything.
No.
And then
like some of the creatures, like when they were riding on those creatures and
that was probably the worst it looked. Sometimes though, that's either the last thing they had to put out, or like the intern kid did that one. Sometimes, because I've worked in those studios a little bit, and you're like, you gave that scene to that kid, and they're like, yeah, because he's working on that, and he's working on that, he's working on the Mando fight, he's working on the fucking shark, all right. So that leaves him.
We got £4.50. All right.
We got £4.50 and Malcolm. So he's doing the fucking shitty fucking two-legged landfish thing.
Should we talk about the Back to the Future?
By the way, his ship is called the Razor Crest, which is really cool.
Oh, is it? That is a fucking name. Yeah, I like that.
Should we talk about the Back to the Future 3 reference?
What the fuck was that?
What?
After the scene on the ship.
In episode 3, everybody, there's a moment where the Mandalorian gets on the ship, and there's this dude sat in the back seat going, "Oh, we gotta go back, Marty." and then they go back to the future.
Yeah.
And they stop.
And then the entirety of Back to the Future 3 plays.
I'm talking about the.
Then there's the Mando scene.
I'm talking about the guild leader and the setup for how he survives the shot.
That was my least favorite bit of the whole thing.
That took me by surprise. I
knew it was coming.
So first of all,
moment he showed it.
That is not from Back to the Future 3. Back to the Future 3 took it from a Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah,
which
I know why it's in there.
Yeah, no, I was joking, Peach. I was joking, Peachy, about it being a Back to the Future 3 reference.
Okay,
you know why I hated that in there? Because that shit is basically a spoiler for me. Because it's like, if someone shows you something really like hard in their pocket, someone shows you something that's like a fucking Bible or a thing that they reveal from that. This is just sitting across my heart part of their chest. You know that person's getting shot later in the episode, which means like as soon as that happened, I knew everyone in there was going to turn on him. I just thought it was going to be right there.
I didn't even realize.
What?
I kind of thought he just put it there because oh my god, yeah, because he's this. Yeah. When he goes and gets his bounty, he's just like, I'm a rich man, and it's just a throwaway thing. But
it was the same for me. I'm still in the mentality of Star Wars is dumb, and my expectations are so low.
Like that, it's just like, it's basically it's not even like.
It is a little bit telegraphed if you're in that kind of frame of mind where you can pick those.
I'm not in that frame of mind.
So I know. I usually
another thing and then use the thing. Basically,
that pissed me off though because I was like, oh fuck,
he's gonna get shot in the heart.
Yeah, this guy's gonna get shot, and who's he gonna get shot by? Obviously, he's gonna have to. I thought.
What happened with the trackers as well?
He was gonna have to fight his way out of that room then, when he revealed it. Because he gets up and then he turns around and he's like, just one more question. What are they going to do with the kid? And I was like, oh fuck, here we go. He was like,
too many questions, man.
I swear to God, like if I could give you a snapshot of my mind in that moment, I went, here we go. And I heard Carl Weathers respond, go, why did you have to ask that question? And then suddenly everyone starts shooting or something, right? Like I thought that's what it was because he kept asking questions, but it didn't happen. So I'm at least thankful for that.
I'd say what I would have preferred instead of him like changing his mind, I would have preferred more of a catalyst to him going back to save the Baby Yoda, which like more likely would have been him asking what's happening with the Baby Yoda, and the guy like giving a throwaway line of like, I didn't expect you to ask that, and that like tweaking them to betray him.
Yeah, but no, in the movie version, the shit version of this, it's like what they do to the kid and goes, oh well, first I shall take out its heart and eat it, and then I will stab it in the eyes. That's what would have happened in the movie.
No, I appreciate his reasoning because he goes back, he has his traumatic fucking PTSD armor moment. He goes, fuck, I am that creature. He goes, I am
the orphan.
Don't get me wrong. I don't mind what they did. I would have just preferred for it to be a bit like it doesn't.
A bit more obvious.
It doesn't. No, not necessarily obvious. It just doesn't feel as earned. Like because
he's just drawing that. He's like, oh, that's me.
Yeah,
I was just completely shocked that he gave the Yoda because they had two episodes where they're bonding.
Well, yeah, but
I just like for them to go a little bit further in the whole because he's been raised as a Mandalorian. It feels like, or even if he isn't an actual Mandalorian, he's a bounty hunter. He's known for his professionalism. It feels like there needed to be just a little bit more of a push to get him to change his. Outlook and like, don't get me wrong, Baby Yoda's super fucking cute, but that's outside of.
I feel like that's.
It didn't feel like quite enough to get him
more
to.
Flaws in his character though, because
the episode is called like The Sin or something like that.
I think I'll be happy with it after we get more context of the fallout and like the ways it's gonna fuck him over.
I get that. I felt the same way when I was watching it at first. Sheepdog. Well, actually, I was sitting there going, what is my brain is always going in the background, and my brain is going, what's going to be the reason he busts in there and breaks it out?
Yeah, and it's
and
the
I
same
thought
for
it was
me.
going to be because he asked the question, what are you going to do with it? And the guy was like, he says something like, fucking, I'm surprised you even want to give a fuck. You're a bounty hunter. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And then it felt like he leaves, and that Werner Herzog, I don't know his fucking name in the thing. Bounty hunting is a dangerous profession. That guy.
I love the way he plays that character, though.
Yeah.
It's like he ain't
It's
right.
it's actual Empire style bad guy instead of
acting in the Star Wars thing.
Instead of Ginger McScreams a lot.
Yes. Oh no. We're talking about something good. Don't sour.
No, sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking he then says to Carl Weathers, the guild leader, he's like, if he asks about it again, kill him.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously, you know what I mean? That's what I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't.
I thought he was going to get ambushed by the stormtroopers, and that was going to be his, like, well, if they've broken the contract, I can now go save the kid like I want to, kind of thing. But
because he's a professional, but he's so flawed.
It is nice that he's not
his
like.
Flaw is that he is a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And our flaw is believing that all Mandalorians are like cold-blooded bounty hunters because of
professional and professionals.
Because,
well,
when he was in the movie, he had no lines like that were important. It was like, I want my money. Because we need a character that...
Actually, for me, it's actually playing the MMO. Like, the Mandalorians are, you know, like, fairly professional warrior race type, you know, and...
They're like, loyal to their clan, right?
Yeah.
What are they more loyal to? Their bounty or their home?
Definitely their home, right?
And that's what I think happened to a degree with him there. And also, I think he's just a good guy. Underneath that mask, I think he's just a good guy.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to believe him, like we said in the episode, or in the first episode, that he's a cold-hearted killer, kind of. But actually, I don't think he is. And again, I think there was a very revealing thing that I watched. I can't remember who gave the interview now, but I read something or I watched something, I can't remember, ages ago, about how that guy got the part. Can't remember his name. He's the dude from Game of Thrones, isn't he? Pedro.
Yeah, something like that.
He went into like Jon Favreau's office and then realized, because there's all this shit on the walls about the Mandalorian, and he goes, "Oh fuck!" And Jon Favreau's like, "Yep, we're doing a show," and Pedro's like, "Oh, who gets to play Boba Fett?" Right? And he like points at it, and Jon Favreau was like, "It's not Boba Fett, and it's you. You are the main dude in the show." And he was like, "Well, fuck," you know, like that was how he got the role. I think there's a really interesting. If someone can find that, it's an interesting thing that I watched a while ago, and it was nice. But that I found to be quite revealing, because I think all of us going into it are like, "Yay, Boba Fett show," but I don't think it is.
No,
I think he's a bounty hunter second to like kind of actually a good guy and a Mandalorian. And we're all so fucking obsessed with Boba Fett. Everyone fucking loves Boba Fett.
See, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't either. I don't like Han Solo either. And everyone loves him.
I
like Boba Fett because when I was a kid, he was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
They're so cool looking.
Mandalorians just are
they are
cool looking.
I mean, they're kind of better versions of Stormtroopers.
But I think this is how you're supposed to subvert expectations. And I think Jon Favreau, I think this is where Jon Favreau is showing Rian Johnson up. He's going, everyone's going to go into this thinking the Mandalorian is Boba Fett, because everyone wants a Boba Fett show. Everyone's been talking about it for years. And we're going to give them a show called The Mandalorian. And in that alone,
everyone's
it is fuck you to everyone. Because everyone's going, oh, it's Boba Fett. Boba Fett isn't a Mandalorian. Like, I'm 90% sure. He's just doesn't he say
he's Jango Fett's fucking son?
Jango Fett's not a Mandalorian.
Well, not son, clone. Son.
Is he? Or is he not?
Yeah,
I feel like...
I mean, he is.
He's a blood Mandalorian. Because he's a clone, but the son...
It feels like they were maybe like outcasts or something.
Doesn't he say something about stealing the armor, though? Isn't his whole thing about how he stole the fucking...
Oh, that was like a bullshit line he gave the character, like purposely bullshit.
Oh, it's a bullshit line.
I think he's lying because he doesn't want anyone to know that he's a Mandalorian because they're all private and they're all about that.
Yeah.
So this guy is Boba Fett in the Mandalorian. He is Jango Fett. He's Jango Fett's head. And actually, when he takes his mask off, it will reveal that it's Jango Fett's head attached to.
And he's gonna have a South African accent.
So the way I approach stuff like this is basically, if there are parts that kind of yank me out of it or like, you know, make me, because as you said, Brad, like I tend to look at things as they're happening and be like, how is this going to play out? And, you know, like I come up with the most likely option. When something like that happens, like all of the Mandalorians coming in and there's the big fight shootout with the jetpacks and everything, like a good example is him saying, I need to get me one of those, and the dude, like, you know, like
you got to level up, man. You don't get that to your level 12 fucking Mando bounty hunter.
Video games. But the Mandalorian, like, flying by his ship and, like, waving, thumbs upping him and going, you can be my wingman anytime, and then the Mandalorian goes, bullshit, you can be mine. That took me out a little bit. But
when he's flying alongside,
yeah,
I was like, "Is this the Rocketeer?" But I was still on that high.
That was exactly my thought.
Like, I don't care about this.
My exact thought was, "What the fuck is this? The Rocketeer?" Like, legitimately.
But that was more of a CGI sort of thing that pulled me out of it.
The thing about it though is the show has garnered basically benefit of the doubt. Yeah. So like for me not really liking the way he did the not really liking the way he did the flip to go back and get the Yoda baby. The show has the benefit of the doubt from me, just purely because it's managed to surprise me and it's managed to do things well repeatedly. But also, it doesn't ruin it for me. It's like, it's something that's a little bit off for me, but it's not something, you know, it's... I can suspend disbelief, or I can, you know, I can make peace with the problems that I have. And there aren't massive loads of problems.
This definitely has benefit of the doubt. Because the fan service is just like, it's there, it's not, you know...
Yeah.
It's Easter eggs. It feels more like Easter eggs instead of like...
Oh, didn't they have one of those... I don't know what they're called, but the droid that tortured Leia, they had one of them, right? It was going to inject the baby Yoda.
Really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, you know when he bursts in...
Oh, the thing he shoots?
He's like, don't kill it, it's just a child. So something's happening with that scientist, right? But the robot was one of the interrogation... torture... Or, well, interrogation, probably.
I didn't absorb that, I guess.
Yeah, because it's not like, hey, look, we, you know, in the movie version, he goes, well, this interrogation droid was about to jab this Yoda in the face with this needle. You're a AT.
Yeah.
I guess the battle droid was front and center.
Yeah.
But as I didn't pick up on it, but that's why he doesn't like droid.
Place your bets now.
Okay.
How does he get fucking saved from that super battle droid?
Mandalorians. Mandalorians hate the Empire, right?
Mandalorians.
Because they were gutted, like, it was probably Order 63. I don't know. Kill the Mandalorians.
Yeah, but the super battle droid thing, yeah?
Yeah.
He's in front of him. Points a gun at him. What is the next thing that happens? I'm gonna stand by.
Go on then. Say it. Just say it, and then we can go.
I'm gonna stand. I think you've made a wicked point, and you know I'm not sitting here doing my usual thing of this is definitely what's gonna happen. Sometimes I can predict shit, and I'm always right, and sometimes I'm like, this is my guess, and this is a guess. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going with that one. Jedi's gonna cut it in half.
The lightsaber.
Yeah, here's the other reason I think that's going to happen is the Mando saved him this episode. If they just save him again, that's lame. It's a little bit of mirroring, but I think the overall mirroring is stronger. That he gets saved by a Jedi, and now he's saving a Force user.
And I think that would give more weight to him going back if he has like a
It also backs up your thing.
Yeah.
Gives him more weight to have turned. Yeah.
If he has like a small amount of knowledge where he was exposed as a kid to, wow, this is sounding very Catholic Church. If he was exposed to a kid to the Force by a Jedi, like, and he just saw a little bit of it, it may take him some time to like make the connections and that kind of thing, and then be like, oh, okay, this is what this kid is, and then he's like,
there is there's a good point in chat though. Imagine if clone troopers save him, that's pretty bad too.
Because look at the way he deals and like looks at and interacts with the troopers. That could be just because they're Empire, or it could be
okay.
Like some of those. I mean, yeah.
Here's a thought.
I guess all the clone troopers are
which
well dead.
Would make me laugh. You know the lamest Jedi in the entire thing, who I think he gets like surrounded and shot.
He's in Fallen Order. Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, what's going on, everyone?"
Yeah,
why are you pointing those weapons at me?
Kiamundi, the one that does the fucking. What about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
I can't remember which one it is. He's got
like he looks like a Conehead from the Conehead movies.
Yeah, and then
isn't Mark Hamill in there, by the way?
Huh?
Isn't he played by Mark Hamill in the? Or am I just fucking completely losing my mind now?
Wait, really?
I think his name is Kiamundi. First of all, Kiamundi. I don't know how I know this shit, by the way.
I mean, you know,
it's the same level of bullshit that I'm pulling. I'm sure Jango Fett isn't a Mandalorian from, where it's just this weird knowledge that I have from when I was 13, you know, and I was obsessed with Star Wars, and it's in there somewhere.
He's not Hamill, apparently.
No, all right, never mind.
But yeah, he gets
Twitch
like
chat said that, so
he gets like surrounded and murdered.
I mean, it's definitely Mark
He's
Hamill.
really lame. I hope it's him. I hope he just turns up and actually does something, because he was super lame.
So you're thinking that the next PTSD armor moment, there's gonna be like a green light is just gonna cut that thing in half.
No, I think it will be like a force push or something, like something that where he
no look at that.
Well, no, it's not that he has no idea. It's like he doesn't express his thoughts much, so it's hard to tell. But it could
his facial like reaction to the he was
okay. I think
it does but the actor's really good at conveying the Mandalorian's emotion.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of sound.
Well, it's sound and also cinematography. Like the cinematography is really
good. I guess.
But it's got something to do with the actor as well, I imagine. But no,
I think it does, because like I don't know, I get emotion from him when he's wearing like full armor, which is odd.
I think it's more likely to be a display of force ability.
I agree with the cards here. Like, if they're gonna put that in, it's so they can show you a lightsaber.
But I don't think so. And
it will just because look at the shot as well.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing was shot at once, right? If you look at the shot, you can if that does happen, which I don't think it will, it's gonna be a bright fucking colored light just cut that thing in half, because he's like right in the middle, silhouetted.
I mean, but couldn't you also just as easily see him like almost semi-comedic shot get like just pushed out of the way?
No, because the shot is too tight. It is literally the door. There's a tiny fucking.
Are you thinking like there's gonna be like a green lightsaber come out of the
robot's
chest?
This is the thing where he fucking, when Qui-Gon fucking
opens the door. That's exactly where I was thinking. That's what's gonna happen. It's just gonna start melting, and there's gonna be colors.
Well, when we come back in 3 episodes, I'm going to rub it in your faces when I'm right.
I mean, I don't
wait
fucking
for the
know.
episode to be out for a week and then talk about it.
The show has done a lot of like twisty turny stuff already with me, and I love that, by the way.
Yeah,
you're not quite sure what's going to happen.
You're like, there's no just like safe scenes, set pieces, and no safe writing.
Yeah.
Like it's not been. There's nothing crazy that's happened, but
there was one thing
I've been so pleasantly surprised since the fucking moment he opened that fucking thing and Yoda was in it. I was like,
okay,
fuck yeah, dude. The last thing I expected to be in it was that.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I could you open it up and there's just like my mum was in there, I'd have been less shocked.
There was one thing.
It's like surprise.
Yeah. It's mum.
There was one thing that almost ruined the show for me because I wanted them to do it and they didn't. They mentioned it and then they were like, no, we're not going to do that. Which is the Twi'lek bath massage thing.
Oh yeah.
But
you wanted that to happen? Did you say?
Yeah. Twi'leks are hot. Twi'leks are hot, dude.
Oh, you just wanted some fucking porno. He would have taken his hat off. Or he's just in his hat.
No, he's just in the hat and completely nude. Yeah, like a comedic.
He's got the helmet on it in like a jacuzzi.
Properly, like he doesn't display any response or emotion, and the guy invites him, and there's comedic cut to him sitting in the bath with just his helmet on. That's what and then just hot Twi'leks like.
There is comedy in it, but I don't think that's right.
No, they would go there, and that's dumb. But yeah, it's just.
Do you know another funny comedy moment? In the first episode where he's with the bounty droid, and it's like we gotta open the door, and then it just like long shot to behind the cannon. They both go, huh? It was dumb, but I laughed.
Yeah. So. Just to get my proclivities out into the public, Twi'leks and whatever those weird like white and blue haired, I think they're like a relative of the Twi'leks. Like they have like the big, I can't remember what the fuck they're called now. Those two races are hot, and I challenge anyone to disagree with that.
Listen, I've been into your NSFW Discord channel.
I haven't. I've never been in there.
It is fucked.
I'm sure. Like, dude, don't go in there. That's a terrible fucking idea.
When Brad jumped into a call, that's the first thing he said about that. I was like, yeah, I came in here about a year ago. And I noticed the headline or the header for a story of gay fan fiction with me in it, and I never came back into Discord.
There is like that is where all the shipping goes and all the fan fiction. There are multiple stories of me having sex with people I've done game streams and stuff with, so I don't go in there. I've never been in there, and I refuse to go in there. It is quite literally just. I'm sure there's loads of everything in there, to be honest. They're called the Togruta.
What is? Oh, the Ahsoka people.
Yeah, the other race.
There's two.
And I can tell you that it's not worth looking up porn of those two races. Because regardless of how good a job
I wasn't even considering it, by the way.
No. This is just for anyone who's interested.
To my usual fucking gaping midget porn, but you know.
Well, like this is
your weird shit, okay, buddy?
This is the problem with Twi'lek porn, Brad. Right? It doesn't matter how good. It doesn't matter how good you make the makeup. When people start fucking, they sweat. And it's weird to see alien Twi'leks melting halfway through sex.
That's the only way I can climax.
I feel like we've run out of content, and that's how we've got here, and we should reconvene in 3 weeks.
Oh no, I've got so much more I could talk about, dude. I could go on for like another 10 hours.
I'm sure you could.
I want to like think about that because we literally, all three of us, literally finished watching it like an hour ago, 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
What?
The third.
What do you want to think about?
What's happening there? Because we haven't even talked about the fucking. Oh my god, the fucking blacksmith.
Yeah.
How cool, she's fucking dope.
She's really cool. And the interaction between them.
Is she the leader as well of them?
I think she is.
She is.
She's not in the fight at the end either, is she?
I don't know.
It was kind of unclear.
A lot of Mandalorians, and I got very excited.
Yeah, maybe. Someone will probably put out like a fucking examination video or whatever, where they slow shit down and you can look.
Yeah, but you can't do that an hour, 2 hours after watching it.
Did anyone
I just
see?
mean at some point I might Google it and see if they.
Did anyone see the?
I bet there's some cool shit in there, that there's no way we could ever pick up.
Did anyone see the video on YouTube of like 50 Star Wars Easter eggs?
56.
Yeah, 56 in like the first episode of The Mandalorian. I'm like, seriously? Fucking Jesus, I didn't notice that many.
56 what?
Easter egg,
Easter eggs you
Easter
may have
egg
missed.
references to Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean they probably just fucking. Yeah, I mean there probably is quite a few.
I mean, it's a Star Wars. Yeah, it's a Star Wars film. Of course, there's going to be Star Wars shit in it, but it was like, yeah.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I was thinking.
No, I didn't watch it because
maybe
there's clickbait
like
shit.
The next episode is out next Friday.
Yeah.
We could watch that, and then the following Friday we could talk about that after we've like.
Wait, we're not doing 3 episodes now. We're doing 2 because we want to talk about it so soon.
I just love it so much, and even if the next episode is fucking terrible and they start going AT, ST, AT, I would still want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to talk about it regardless because I'm invested in the show now.
I'm invested. I am totally invested, and the armor, the focus they've put on the armor. Because you remember when we watched the trailer and you're like, oh, he got shot. I mean, and I was like, no, because Mandalorian armor's like, it's supposed to be like special and really cool.
I chucked the trailer up for like some vague visuals for the lemmings who can't just listen. So there's the trailer's been playing through the DropPod, and I'm noticing things in the trailer, and I'm like, I kind of want to talk about that. So it's just like, yeah, fucking.
I just like seeing stormtroopers again because I fucking love stormtroopers.
I like how they're all dirty and shitty because
I thought that was a really
like
good
actual
touch.
Skeletons.
Yeah, I was like, wow, they actually thought to put dust on the stormtrooper uniforms.
Well, because the Empire has fallen, right?
Yeah, they haven't got anyone to repair their shit or replace it and stuff.
Yeah.
Surely, the only.
Oh, do you know what's kind of cool?
No, there is something I need to talk about.
Go on.
It might be the same thing as Peachy, but apologies, Peachy. The torches on the guns.
Oh my god, fuck you, sheepdog.
You too? Yeah, the torches. Yeah. How cool was it when they just turned the I was like, oh my god.
No, like this is like a real thing.
Yeah, this is like they've actually taken time to think about shit, and they put torches on their fucking guns.
Somebody cares about this TV show.
Oh god, it was so nice.
How much money it's going to make.
Yeah.
The
torches, yeah. Yes, chat. Okay, me and Cheapy are both actually impressed that there are torches on the blasters.
Go if you haven't done it yet. Go watch The Last Jedi, and you'll understand why we're impressed by torches on guns.
the scientist dude.
Yeah.
Mm.
2 things about him. One, he's played by a pretty famous actor.
Yeah.
Which means he's a much bigger part than the 2 scenes he's been in.
Yeah, definitely.
He, I assume, is a prisoner. That thing in the room with him, the droid that was floating around.
Yeah, the interrogation droid.
That's not interrogating anyone, is it? It's just keeping him there.
Oh yeah.
No, I have a different.
Because I thought it might, because it's got an injection, but it only started moving after the scientist was like, basically showed that he wasn't a bad guy, kind of deal.
I have a slightly different take. I think.
Yeah, but you didn't even notice there was an interrogation droid in the room.
Well, I did know that.
Is that what it is though? Because I thought it was those things from Fallen Order that shoot you.
Yeah, I thought it was one of those scouty type things.
No. Those are scout. Yeah. This is definitely because it was the orb one. It's the shiny orb one.
Yeah. Again, I was marveling at the stealth, the thought they put into him stealthing in a bit more than just like charging in, and all the bullets missing him and everything. Like I was
Dr.
like, wow.
Pershing, he's the doctor.
My thoughts on
ITO interrogation unit. It is.
My thoughts on him is more that I'm going down the route of he's one of those scientists that's very for the greater good. He wants to protect, but he also wants to.
Yeah, he was desperate not to kill the Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I don't think he's like cut and dried good guy.
No, but his line wasn't "don't hurt it" or whatever. It was "I'm the only thing stopping him from killing it" or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a different line, which means in the future he's going to be on their side, the good guy's side.
He's going to be Otacon
unless he wants it, unless he needs it alive for a different reason.
No, Rogue One, all those fucking scientists are just prisoners. They just got guns at their head.
Yeah, but Rogue One wasn't very good. Of them.
That's what they. Yeah, but the source material was correct, at least in that the people that built
that's right. Why would an interrogation unit be like doing medical work on the Yoda? It wouldn't. It's there to keep him in the room.
He is a good guy. Good guys do bad things.
Yeah.
They always have to like over justify it in some way, and it will be a line like "I'm the only thing stopping them from killing it," right? Because later on, when he's on the good guy's side, and you're like, "Fuck that guy, he's a bad guy. He tortured the Baby Yoda," you'll never accept that he's a good guy because of it.
I have the feeling.
Unless he says something like that. And then you go back and you're like, that's why he said it.
I have the feeling like the scientist might be a double agent of some kind, where he's working, like he's pretending to work for the Empire. He really works for the Resistance or for, like whatever.
After Brad pointed that out, I am 100% convinced.
But I think
it's the interrogation droid.
No,
like, that's what it does.
I'm possibly.
I'm less convinced because you said it was an interrogation droid.
Yeah.
I'm more convinced.
I thought it was one of them ones.
It wouldn't be in there for the.
Well,
Yoda.
I mean, the interrogation droid would have medical stuff, like for example, sedatives.
Yeah, but
so it might just be being used.
That droid does nothing. It does nothing until basically the scientist is like,
it does something because the fucking Mandalorian comes in and it's moving towards the baby to secure the baby, as it was probably programmed. The reason it wasn't doing anything is because it had already administered the sedative and it was on standby in case anything else was needed.
It is stupid, by the way. I see in chat that every scientist of the Empire is a prisoner.
Yeah,
that is stupid, but it is also absolutely the case, right? I think. At least that's what it seemed like in Rogue One. Like every scientist. I feel like it's one of those things that's sort of referencing Nazis.
Yeah.
Because the Nazi scientists.
Well,
stuff
I mean, the Nazi symbolism. Come on.
Well, I mean, like all
when
of
Ginger Boy gets angry and starts shouting, and he's this far from just throwing a Hitler salute up.
Yeah, they basically do, effectively.
Yeah, and the Nazi scientists weren't prisoners at all, but I feel like.
Well, they kind of sold themselves to get out of trouble.
I just felt like they're trying to get away from that so that you can justify them.
A lot of the scientists that America took were Jewish.
Yeah. Right. First of all, you're alt-right now for saying anything anywhere near that. You disgusting piece of shit. I just have to state for the record that I do not agree with anything Peachy has ever said. And now on, he's cancelled. Second of all, I feel like they're trying the point I was making before. A bit unclear. It was that I was saying that in Rogue One, the reason they're like doing that thing where they're like all the scientists are prisoners is so that you don't think of the Nazi scientists that weren't prisoners, because you needed the scientists in Rogue One to be good guys because of her dad, and that's why they put the whole point of Rogue One is why is there a hole in the Death Star that you can shoot?
Yeah,
that's literally the only point of the movie, really.
Yeah.
That's why, because they were good guys, and you needed them to be good guys. But how do you do that when everyone knows that the Nazi scientists weren't prisoners? By making them prisoners, right?
It is a better.
Why I feel like that's the case in this, because they've sort of established that weird law.
It is a better solution to problems that crop up throughout the Star Wars, like lore and canon, than a lot of how they dealt with things in The Last Jedi. Like, for example, World War II.
To hate A New Hope, by the way.
World War II.
Just that.
Yeah.
The fire the gun. Fire a fucking single .22 round at the Death Star, and it will explode.
I mean, again, like the solution they came up with in Return of the Jedi made much more sense, where they had to like go through a fucking gauntlet of tight, turns and shallow bits, and it was.
Have you seen the meme of? Have you the Death Star 2 in Return of the Jedi when it blows up into atoms, right? There's nothing left of it. How the fuck is that thing in the water in whatever planet they're in this next movie?
Chunks.
By the way,
it's chunks. There are chunks.
No chunks,
There's
dude.
No chunks. Go watch it. Go watch it, you dickhead.
It blows up into atoms. I swear to God, there's nothing left.
Okay. This is.
Falcon is far away. No.
This
thing fucking was reduced to nothing.
I'm about.
No bit to that.
I'm about to shit on a very good friend of mine to show you.
It was kind of in.
No.
It was fully operational.
I'm going to.
That thing's fucking gone.
I am going to
give
you.
There's like intact bits of that are holding a fucking Palpatine clone or whatever they're doing.
Maybe it was the first one, Brad.
I'm gonna give you an example.
That also didn't that blow up into 1,000 little bits as well?
Chunks. That blew up into chunks.
I'm gonna fucking watch it right now.
That thing's big as a moon, Brad.
I'm gonna give you an example of how stupid Star Wars fans are. One of my mates loves Star Wars and has watched it hundreds of times. And he bet me 200 quid that the Death Star in Return of the Jedi was the partially destroyed husk of the one that was destroyed in A New Hope. Even despite the fact that he'd seen it multiple times and he'd seen the scene where it explodes into twinkly little flakes of...
But there's chunks.
There's not chunks. Go watch it. It literally explodes into twinkles.
The excuse in the movie is going to be that there are chunks.
Yeah, it's going to be like, but it doesn't make it okay. It makes no sense.
The camera, like how they actually did it, IRL, they had a camera underneath and they just blew it up. And if you watch like the actual shot when they're like from,
you don't see chunks.
The one that's in, no. Like when they actually blow it up, you can see there's video footage of them just doing the stunt in the studio, and there's like a big quarter of it that just hangs off a string.
No, that's not what we were shown.
Yeah, but dude, they blew that up the same way. You literally saw that thing explode, and there was still
when in video games, you have to read a pamphlet to understand the story. They give you a fucking book.
You just didn't listen to the answer phone message that was left around.
Yeah, like you need to fucking read this fucking. I hate, and they do this way too much with The Last Jedi. Why didn't you read the fucking book that came out with it to answer that question? Fuck you. Show me in the movie or don't.
Yeah.
Don't claim bullshit like the fucking Death Star wasn't reduced to straight up
chunks.
Atoms.
Which it was. And I think...
Okay. So the first one blows up into chunks. Did they recover that, though? And put that... What's the Death Star 2 made out of? They just made it again.
I don't know what it's made of. I don't know.
Was it made out of the Death Star 1 chunks that they apparently definitely...
I assumed they just built a new one. That's where I assumed.
I wonder if anyone has fucking even said that Death Star wreckage is probably Death Star 2, because the Death Star 2 laser dish is what's in the thing. There you go.
That's where Palpatine, quote unquote, died.
Which Death Star? This is Endor, apparently. Really?
No, it's not Endor. It's another moon. Because Endor's a moon.
It's another moon.
It's another moon going around the planet, I think.
Oh, they're saying it's the moon of Yavin. Apparently.
Yavin.
Where the first one blew up?
They're saying, well, that means that this is the Death Star 1.
What the fuck would the... Okay, whatever. I don't care. The films are so shit. And like, okay, here's a question. We won't go into it, but have any of you read the leaks for the next film?
No.
Because I've read the leaks.
I don't want to see the leaks.
I haven't done any of that. Twice they've been wrong with that, and twice they've been right. With stuff recently.
Yeah.
The circumference of the first Death Star's laser dish had a depressed edge, whereas the laser dish for the second Death Star was flush and continuous with the rest of the surface. Wow. If they even... I don't even believe they put effort into the movie.
I love nerds.
I like that more effort has gone into explaining The Last Jedi than has to actually making The Last Jedi. Like, the fans have put more work into making it.
I'm gonna watch Solo again later. Have you seen it yet, Sheepy?
No, I don't.
Watch Solo.
After watching The Mandalorian, I don't want to, Peachy. Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hate Solo from what I've heard.
No, apart from the hey, look, it's Star Wars. It's fucking cool.
It doesn't sound like it needed to be made, and that's gonna annoy me.
It's dope, dude. It
doesn't sound.
It's like a cyberpunk adventure. It's really cool. It just happens to have Chewie and Han in it, and Woody Harrelson, of course. Woody Harrelson's character in it is great as well, and that his character arc is amazing. It's not really an arc, but it kind of looks like an arc.
Yeah, I liked Solo as well. It felt like kind of just like fun. I do think the fan service is a little OTT, but
yeah, I know, like
it is.
It doesn't feel like something I have to watch. As you know, like where I'd say like, I watched the Last Jedi because I heard everyone bitching about it. I wasn't gonna watch it because I didn't like The Force Awakens. Like, you know what it was?
The only reason I watched The Joker is because everyone was like, incels are going to shoot everyone.
I haven't actually watched The Joker yet. I really want to, but I haven't been in the mood for something
the poor
like
man's,
depressing.
Fucking De Niro.
Taxi Driver, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like a budget cut rate imposter taxi driver.
Yeah, and that's fine. But like I watched The Last Jedi because everyone was talking about it, and I was like, I need to experience it. I'm not happy I did, because I was expecting it to be bad. I wasn't expecting it to be unsalvageable. Like, just
it wasn't unsalvageable.
Dude,
at all.
like you are sweet and lovely person. Shut up and fuck off. It was terrible.
If they removed whatever character they pretended was Luke in that movie, that's fine. That movie's fine.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. No,
the thing is, Peachy came to me as a fan of it.
Yeah.
And I fucking absolutely turned him to the dark side on it.
Well, but yeah, I think I.
And I feel bad about it. I still feel bad about that, Peachy, but it had to be done.
Wait, Brad, did I turn you on to the
Brad?
The Twilight porn? Yeah, you did.
No. Well, I mean, you're
Sheepy's done his own Twilight porn?
Yeah, I need to leave.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Sheepy's blue grundle.
What did you turn me on to?
The Mauler video. Because I think you sent me
the... it might have been you, yeah. Someone did. That shit was fucking wicked.
Yeah. It's a really good explanation of why all of
Definitely
the reasons
helped me collate my thoughts.
Yeah.
That I think is probably one of the better ones. The Red Letter stuff is good as well.
The Red Letter stuff's decent. They seem to be taking a more moderate compared, like, I think they had the ability to look at everyone else losing their minds and be able to be like, well, it's shit, but we don't need to tear it a new one. Everyone's done that, so we can be a bit less,
that's what I like about Red Letter.
About it.
They kind of exist outside the bubble. They're like, oh, okay, we're just gonna do our thing.
We're just gonna describe the bad thing, like how it's not very good, but we're not gonna hate it because we don't care enough to hate it. But no, the moment when I was like, I don't care about Star Wars from the new set, and the reason I hate the Force Awakens is literally just, well, aside from the standard things, is just the giant planet Death Star. That it's so stupid, and I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna be.
That thing that fucking Snoke is on is even bigger, isn't it?
Yeah,
that thing that Snoke is on, the supremacy, is insane.
Oh yeah, that is huge.
Like it's like absurdly big.
The problem with J.J. Abrams past being a director, like he's really good with the visuals, and he can't write for shit. The only thing he knows how to do is take things that have already happened and expand them. This is why this next film's gonna suck, and why it's already required multiple reworkings and re-editings and reshootings. Is because the only thing he's gonna do in this film is take things that have gone before and escalate them to be inverted commas.
Oh,
epic.
he's gonna reverse 50% of the last movie.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know
Somehow.
I don't know what he's going to do. Although I do agree that he's better at taking pre-existing stuff and just making it really fucking cool and shiny.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, he did it with Star Trek. You know,
he doesn't. He probably doesn't. They probably have so many people writing this next movie, and it's psychotic desperate bid to fucking make it not shit.
And they can't.
He just needs to whatever. He's not. I think it's probably a good thing. Because I feel like Rian Johnson had a bit of a fucking Vader chokehold on that last movie based on the way... You watch those interviews with Mark Hamill? Isn't it one where he fucking cries, basically?
His hands like shaking.
Fucked. That wasn't Luke, dude. That was not Luke.
Oh, it was horrific. The whole movie's horrendous.
The thing is,
no, the whole movie isn't horrendous.
It is. It really is.
It is.
Like I'm willing to do another drop pod to literally sit here and argue with you for 10 hours about how.
Have you watched the Mauler one?
I think the Star Wars has this deep fucking.
He wouldn't have watched the Mauler
story.
One.
Which one? What?
The Mauler video on The Last Jedi.
I don't know which one I watched. It did make me enjoy the movie less, so thanks for that, Brad. There was about a month where I just hated it more than anything.
So bad.
I got over it because it looks so fucking cool.
Yeah, see,
I agree with you. It looks fucking
AT-ATs with the fucking that look like gorillas. Those are fucking cool.
Oh, there was so much stupid shit that wound me up though. Like the fucking gravity in space thing.
Yeah,
was annoying.
Well, they are over a planet.
No. The gravity from the fucking ship would have been stronger than gravity from the goddamn shitty fucking stupid planet.
Okay, then there you go. It was the gravity of the ship.
First thing they fucking opened their fucking.
And everyone was like, "Oh, the bombs are magnetized."
It's because of the dogfighting from the first dogfighting from World War II stuff. They did a bombing thing. It looked cool as shit.
Yeah, I know why they did it. It's still stupid.
Also, take out that weird casino free the animals shit.
Casino bit, you just fucking. You don't even need any of those characters in this movie. What about the bit where she fucking flies a thing into the guy?
Oh god, and she's like,
really cool.
Love wills. It doesn't. Okay. It looks cool for a second.
It all looks cool. Now remove that from your equation and tell me that movie's good.
Well, it's Star Wars, Brad. There's not any deep fucking story going on there.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Look at Star Wars.
The Empire Strikes Back.
It doesn't need a deep story. It just needs to not be fucking batshit.
The story element. The story element.
I'm not saying anything about the story. I haven't even touched on the story yet. I'm talking about gravity in space. The fucking ridiculous. I'm gonna turn this ship around and fucking light speed.
X-wings have wings.
Supremacy.
They fly in space. They turn. They literally barrel roll so they can turn.
No, I'm talking about when that ridiculous woman who, for no reason whatsoever, withholds the entire plan from everyone.
Yep. The chase scene where they just chase. Yeah. Why the fuck?
Is there a chase scene
when you could hyper? Yeah.
She
jump ahead of them.
She hyperspaces a giant ass ship through another giant ass ship.
That's cool. which has ruined Star Wars forever.
It's fucking cool.
Dumb as shit.
It looks cool. It looks cool, and it's.
I don't care. Rule of cool doesn't count there.
It doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
No, it does because it literally. Why do they not get a ship, put a droid in it, programmed to use that?
Well, absolutely, Leia should have done it. Absolutely.
No, it doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter who does it.
Through the space like Mary fucking Poppins.
Yeah, that's stupid as well.
That was the dumbest thing.
She's fucking stupid. Her plan was stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Militaristically, the Empire, or whatever they're called, the First Order's plan is ridiculous as well. The fact that they literally can't catch up with them is insane.
Yeah.
The fact that they can't like zip ahead of them with the Supremacy can like launch how many fucking destroyers? Launch all of them and zip them ahead and create a blockade ahead of them.
I mean, also
the first movie they have to wait for the slowest orbit ever of this Death Star before they could lock on and.
But we're not arguing that that it's good. We're arguing that this is bad.
It's inherently stupid.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be because the older movie, the same reason.
Yeah. They're all stupid though.
They're not. No. Empire Strikes Back is a really good. No, Empire Strikes Back is a
2017 when this movie comes out. You can do better.
Yeah.
Fucking what the fuck? You can't just be like, yeah, well, in 1970s, yeah.
Brad, listen to what you're saying.
Slower.
You can do better than fucking Star Wars. No,
sure.
you can't.
You can.
No, you can't. It's Star Wars.
They were stupid, and they're fucking with stupid things. You can't.
All
fuck
of them were
with
stupid.
No, they weren't.
You can't fuck with pre-existing law. None of the others fuck with the pre-existing law, except
they
maybe
invented
Mandalorian.
the law. You fucking what?
Who invented the law? Rian Johnson?
No, the old movie. I'm talking about like the first 3 movies.
What?
Yeah.
They're stupid.
But they didn't go back. They didn't go back on shit that had come before. There were 3 films, fine. Another 3 films, fine.
There are rules in place.
Not when they made the original.
Not the first one, but the ones afterwards.
Zipping fucking X-wings through fucking giant. If they can fucking zip, if you can light speed through the Supremacy with that other thing, yeah. Attach a light speed module to an X-wing and send it through every fucking destroyer with a droid. Put a fucking R2 unit in a fucking thing and just fucking send it through every destroyer. Resistance wins.
It retroactively makes everyone stupid.
A tiny little fucking X-wing isn't going to do that much damage.
What?
Really? So then why does a tiny little fucking
it's
thing?
It's not tiny. It's fucking big. It's
way
bigger.
Peachy,
way bigger.
Peachy.
They can't afford to part with.
Here's a question. During Return of the Jedi, why didn't they do that to the Death Star with one of their smaller ships?
Because they can't afford to do that.
To get rid of the Death Star? Of course they fucking
reckless.
can.
I agree, it was reckless.
What?
But it was fucking cool.
What do you mean reckless?
Because they couldn't. You go into a little fucking... In every other Star Wars movie, you basically go into a weird little pocket dimension. Right? That's what they do.
Space wizards exist.
Right.
Don't...
They travel along their little pocket dimension freeway. They come out the other end. Otherwise, like, what the fuck? Why has no one
done it before?
How long? No one has ever thought to attach a hyperdrive to a ship and then just send that through another ship as a form of attack.
They probably have though.
I think
Rebels can't afford to lose ships, can they?
To get rid of like Star Destroyers and shit?
Gone.
Yeah, they
can.
That
ship was going to die.
As far as I'm aware, there is one instance that it was tried in a comic book years ago, and they don't even bring it to full hyperspeed because of that. So that means that rule exists.
You remember when they were all going to die when the Death Star was destroying all of their ships? Why didn't anyone do it then?
They weren't going to destroy the ships. They were going to destroy the rebel
ships were
base.
getting destroyed in the space.
One X-wing
it was
Star Destroyer. One X-wing with a fucking
droid
on it.
Even the wait. Even a cruiser during the Return of the Jedi, the Death Star was shooting their ships. All of their ships were getting shot by what the fuck? Don't sound. The Death Star was destroying their ships, specifically shooting their ships.
Yeah.
Why did they not sacrifice
why
one
didn't they
ship?
do the most desperate thing?
Yes.
Because it's the most desperate thing.
Yes, and they were in just as equal a desperate situation. Their entire fleet was getting destroyed. The shields weren't down.
They honestly weren't because they didn't do it. So they weren't as
no,
in a desperate situation.
That is stupid.
That ship was like that was the entire rebels. The whole point, well, like the end of that movie is, the resistance is completely dead. Oh, but don't worry, we've got children. I don't know how they're gonna deal with that.
No, they'll just ex machina.
That's the only reason the casino exists.
Okay,
because, there's children. Don't forget about the children.
My point on why this is so stupid is it retroactively makes everyone dumbasses for not using that maneuver. And you can postulate as much as you like, and you can postulate as much as you like and be
What's the maneuver called?
It's called the purple bitch maneuver.
The holdo maneuver.
Yeah. The Holdo maneuver?
Is that what they call it?
Probably.
So it's the purple bitch maneuver.
Yeah.
Yeah, she invented it.
Fine.
Literally named after her.
She invented it, fine, but that
No. Fans have been calling it the Holdo maneuver. No one calls it the Holdo maneuver, as far as I know. It's not like, and
What's it called?
Because she invented it, like.
She invented it.
Yeah, but like this is the thing is the technology.
How did they not?
Star Wars fan, okay.
How did no one accidentally do that? Also, all those scenes, right, where you see the fucking ships going into faster than light.
Yeah.
Why aren't they destroying the ones in front of them?
Yeah.
Like there's scenes where there's like Star Destroyers that fucking zip out of shot.
Like
the ones that zip out before the ones that are ahead of them should zip through the ones ahead of them.
Through them, do they?
Also missing the bit about interdiction fields. What's the bit about
interdiction fields? No one has ever, even by accident, caught another ship.
Yeah.
Oh, they probably aim away from them, right?
No, but by accident.
You're not going to aim for that ship.
Never, ever.
Do you know it's never happened by accident?
Why? Yeah, no, because you're saying that she invented it.
Yeah, she invented it.
She invented it.
Yeah, so no one has ever done that before.
Yeah, but gravity existed before somebody figured out there was gravity.
So then why are they aiming away then, Peachy?
This is dangerous.
Why is it dangerous though? Because they don't know.
Would you accelerate? There's a car in front of you that stopped at a red light. Would you accelerate into that car?
Not if I didn't understand the consequences of it. No, I wouldn't care because I don't know what happens when a car hits another car.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't because it's not been invented yet.
Yeah, it hasn't. It hasn't.
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah,
like,
dude, seriously.
No one has taught me that information yet because it doesn't exist yet until the first person does it.
Yeah.
Although technically, yeah, gravity's still there.
I invented it as in using it as a military maneuver.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they have thought of that then?
If it's happened, then they'd be aware of it, and it would be a military maneuver.
No one has done that before.
Yeah, if people are aware of car crashes and how well you can destroy something with a car crash, people use like the Japanese kamikazes.
I think you're taking too lightly the power of the Holdo maneuver.
I think you're grasping way too much.
I think you're trying to put. Star Wars is stupid. It's not smart. It never has been. It never will be smart.
It's not. I understand. It's definitely not hard sci-fi. It's
science fantasy.
Yeah, but there's still a difference between stupid and you know, like you can't, if you basic okay.
If the Mandalorian just started using the Force next week,
yeah,
would that annoy you?
Yes, it would.
He just fucking pulls out a lightsaber and starts doing like fucking.
But here's the difference, Brad. Here's the difference. I care about the Mandalorian.
You should care about The Last Jedi.
I don't care about The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Really cool,
Peachy.
Why are you upset about Luke but not upset about this other fucking thing?
Because Luke.
It doesn't matter.
It's
a fantasy
about them
space.
character destroying Luke, which retroactively upsets the balance of everything that character.
It doesn't retroactively upset the balance of what he was before.
I mean, it does a little bit.
You don't think it ruins?
No. It's like when people play a video game, but the ending was bad. Oh, terrible game. What, you didn't have fun for 40 hours before then? No.
I mean,
can you go back and watch this movie?
Can you go back and
knowing that he becomes a fucking malevolent, murderous, psychopathic uncle?
That wasn't Luke, as far as I'm concerned. I don't care enough about that as I do about the old ones.
Can you watch the scene where he basically is appealing to and stops himself from killing Darth Vader? Like he just, he realizes that because he tries to kill his nephew.
It's silly.
Oh, he's having a bad dream.
It's silly.
Yeah,
it's silly, and it's
but really like Peachy.
But I don't care about that movie as much. It just looked cool.
Peachy. Let me put this.
It doesn't ruin any of the other movies.
But it ruins that character in that movie because you understand up to that point that isn't that character.
But
every character decision that should inform his character in that movie up to that point, you understand. You understand who Luke Skywalker is. And then in that moment, he does something that there's absolutely no fucking way his character would ever do. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it ruins that character in that movie, yeah?
In that movie, yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It
Well,
destroys the
now
logic of what's built
That's
up.
exactly what happens with the holdo maneuver, except it also retroactively ruins all the others.
No, it doesn't, though.
It does even more damage than the
Peachy,
Luke character destruction.
Peachy, your basic. Let me just touch on this here. Your basic argument is Star Wars is stupid. It doesn't have to make sense. It's a dumb space wizard. Blah blah blah. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's no, that's not my reasoning. That's just me saying to you, I don't think you understand that Star Wars is stupid.
I understand that. I do.
No,
I
mean,
agree
you know,
with
like,
you. It's not like the Expanse.
It's just like another movie that came out that I wasn't as invested in. I didn't care as much about. Doesn't impact me like those other movies impact me.
Well, see,
I don't care what happened in that, and it changes nothing about those movies. Like, it's not like they went back and changed those. Well, I mean, Lucas did, but you know what I mean. They haven't gone back and like edited parts of that movie. Changed that movie.
Well, this does actually.
It does actually change things. It means that.
That was just a stupid thing that happened in this movie.
But yeah, okay. But let me. Okay, here.
Imagine if you watch Saving Private Ryan, yeah, and that bit when they storm Normandy Beach, all the Germans are firing on them, yeah, and everyone's running up the beach trying to use their guns like clubs, and you're like, what the fuck are they doing? Why aren't they using the guns? Because in 2 movies' time, that's when the Allied forces learn how to use guns.
Yeah, they turn their guns around and they're like, oh, we can fire these.
2 movies'
time. That movie's shit. Right?
Because the fucking Germans win the war. Is that what you want?
Like, Saving Private Ryan is still fucking amazing.
Okay, let me try this.
It wouldn't be if they were running up the beach.
Brad. Let me try this one more time. Because, okay, Peachy, let me give you this as an example instead. You're watching The Last Jedi, and the Empire are fighting the rebels, and it looks like the rebels are in trouble and all that kind of thing, and then Space Marines turn up, and they beat the, and it turns out that the rebels have always been allied with the Space Marines. They just didn't have them in the other films.
Okay, yeah,
it's exactly the same.
Yeah, so The Last Jedi still stupid. I don't care about it as much. It doesn't impact me as much.
Okay.
So how it doesn't?
But would you be okay
you're saying it changes the other movies? Those movies exist.
Would you be? Yeah, sure. But would you be okay with that happening, with Space Marines turning up in this Space Wizard film that doesn't matter?
Well, I mean, yeah, I probably would if it looked cool. Because that's all The Last Jedi is.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love 40K, and I'd be like, well, yeah, he's Space Marine. But my point is,
be like, oh, that's really dope.
At the same time, my point is like,
yeah, E.T. being in the prequels, did that ruin E.T. for you?
No, it doesn't do anything though, does it?
Yeah,
E.T.
It literally doesn't change the movie E.T. because they're in.
No, but that's a completely different point.
Well, no, it's the same thing because it does not change the movie that preceded it.
E.T. is just an alien, and you don't know where the fuck he comes from in E.T. The fact that he comes from a galaxy far away.
No, you're not seeing the point here. Nothing about that original movie has changed. Nothing has changed. That movie has not changed. It's still there. It's the same movie you watched.
Yeah, it is.
Fucking 10 years ago.
It's fucking ridiculous because they should have. Why didn't they? Firing wing through the Death Star.
Yeah, I can't watch.
Through the Death Star with a droid on it. Put a fucking hyperdrive unit.
I'm not saying it's dumb that they don't do that, but that original movie has not been changed.
It has.
That doesn't exist in that movie, does it?
Why not?
That movie hasn't changed.
Why not? They have the technology.
It only exists in this other movie, which came afterwards.
Yeah, but why don't they do that though?
I don't understand.
Because it doesn't exist in that movie. That movie is still the same movie you watched 20, fucking 30 years ago.
I don't think.
I don't understand your logic, Peachy.
How can you not understand that they haven't re-edited fucking A New Hope?
No.
Do you think they have re-edited A New Hope?
Like you're saying you're okay.
He's being purposely objective. There's no way.
Yeah, you've got to be doing this.
No, I'm not arguing with him. He's doing it on purpose now. I'm sure of it.
No.
It doesn't like I don't like as I said. that gives them the right, or that gives them carte blanche to literally do anything in the next Star Wars movies.
Well,
because,
it does.
You know,
it
like
does.
you could suddenly say that the Force is actually
midichlorians.
The Force is actually given to them by God.
Midichlorians. What about midichlorians?
Well, here's the thing, though. At least with midichlorians, it's
like...
vaguely ambiguous. Like, midichlorians could literally just be Qui-Gon's weird little fucking...
well, and
no, you're
also...
just dancing around to
no,
do
no,
that.
No, no, Peachy.
Midichlorians don't change the fact that...
Midichlorians don't undo the rules, though. They're just kind of silly.
Wait.
They don't undo
Peachy,
the
your argument keeps becoming... It was already bad. They already did bad things.
No.
That's not the point. The point is
that they did that in that movie because Star Wars is silly and fun. It's stupid, fun. That's what it is.
Okay.
Because they did something shitty.
That's the filmmaker's choice, but the filmmakers have made a shit movie.
Okay, it's not shit, but it's not great.
It's
but,
yeah.
The core of our argument is the reason
because they did that. It literally, you can go back and watch A New Hope, and it's still the same. You can go back and watch Empire. It's still exactly the same movie. It doesn't change that movie because that movie already exists.
Our point is that The Last Jedi is shit, and one of the reasons is that they undid lore.
Yeah, but it doesn't ruin that movie. You're saying that the reason The Last Jedi is shit is because it ruins the other movies. It hasn't changed the other movies.
There is now, every time I watch those movies, a little bit in the back of my head going, attach a hyperdrive to an X-Wing.
Yeah.
Slap a droid in there and fire it at the Death Star, and no one has to die.
Because the thought exists in your head.
The Mandalorian is great. Watch it. It's awesome.
The Mandalorian is really good.
We now need to shout to Peachy.
Argument is twisted and changed.
It is better than The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Your argument has twisted and changed, and you're stuck on this weird
No. My argument is the same, that those original movies still exist.
Our argument was purely that
they have for many years.
Our argument was purely that the scene was lore destroying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lore destroying, but it doesn't destroy the other movies. So much.
Thank you for listening to this.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Thank you so much. That's case closed, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for more of The Mandalorian.
Wait, are we
actually talk about?
We're done here. We're finished. Please tell me you ended the stream there.
No.
Damn it! We're a perfect ending.
End the stream.
I could end the recording.
End my life.
End my life. No one actually